melting. It's a feeling, and it's filled by memories shared with you. It doesn't matter if our love is shattered. Every moment is a new beginning. You made me come alive, and I'll be waiting till you come back again. Because I'll be waiting for you. 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 I'll this really what I think it is? Am I really the one you need? Desperate times running around, chasing each other down. Is this really what I think it is? Helpless, and the walls are caving in. Can't breathe now, losing my sanity. I'm calling, shouting out your name. I'm calling. Is this really what I think it is? Am I really the one we need? Desperate times running around, chasing each other down. Is this really what I think it is? Silhouette out of the corner of my eye, out of the corner of my eye. Is this really what I think it is? Am I really the one you need? Desperate times running around, chasing each other down. Is this really what I think it is?
Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, along to Season 2 of the Universal Open, presented by 7-Eleven and Brisk. Now, last week we had some action. We've got more action for you this week as teams from North America and Europe battle it out as we continue to pioneer the way in 2v2 Rocket League as teams fight it out for a slice of $100,000. Now, it's double the broadcast this year, so we're going to bring you more Rocket League action than ever. But of course, it's not only me who's going to be bringing you the action. These two gentlemen have decided to come back this week and give us some more fantastic commentary. Gentlemen, how are you? Achieves, we'll start with you.
I'm doing splendid. I was a little disappointed to see Japan lose after I made one comment on social media about how the World Cup works, so I've learned to never do that ever again.
Well, that's fair. I mean, Shogun, how are you? Smug, as always?
I'm not smug. You gotta let, you can be wrong about things. No one's ever social media. No one on social media is ever gonna call you out for being wrong.
Well, I was literally just like, aha, Japan, I would like them to win, and then they threw a 2-0 lead, and I was really sad.
Well, let's just hope that your Rocket League predictions are a little bit stronger. I know your Chiefs. I think you're gonna be able to bounce back pretty well.
I think you'll be absolutely fine. But of course, it's not just us guys. It is, of course, you guys at home as well. Firstly, of course, thank you for tuning in. But use the hashtag UOS2 to get involved on Twitter. Let us know your favourites for the competition. Some of your Northeast region favourite players as well to keep an eye out for. And if you've got any questions for the guys on the desk, feel free to ask away as well. Now, let's get you up to date with the format. If you are just joining us for the first time, let's show you exactly how things work in Season 2 of the Universal Open, because it's very, very exciting. Now, you can see on the left-hand side, last week we covered the East Closed Qualifiers. Now we're into the Northeast Closed Qualifiers. Then will be followed by the Central and Western ones for North America. The top 4 from every single one of those qualifiers will move into the regional finals, as you can see in the middle here. Washington, D.C., New York, Chicago, and San Francisco. The winners will move into our grand finals, joining the qualifiers of the online competition in Europe. in Stamford, Connecticut. 8 teams, August 24th to the 28th. The grand finals will be held. It's going to be absolutely fantastic occasion. Now, let's have a quick brisk bracket update to show you some of the action that's going to be coming along tonight in the Northeastern Close qualifiers. You can see on the left-hand side, Word versus Blue Angels. Oxygen with a 3-0 already over Yeehaw. I believe that might have been a DQ. So now we're going to have Hot Cat E-Games taking on Blackout, Revival taking on Phenomenal XP, and then we're going to have Flyquest taking on Late Night Crew, In Bloom taking on Speedy Sloths, Ghost Station taking on Verbelli, Mercury Pencils taking on First in Flight. And now, after we've had that, let's have a look at the matches that we're going to be showing you today, so you can get ready for all of the action that we're going to be bringing you. I believe our first game we're going to have today, as you can see on your screen at home, is Flyquest versus the Late Night Crew. So, lots of action to get through, gentlemen. Another awesome 3 days ahead of us. What can you tell us about this region? What do we got to keep an eye out for here?
So obviously there's a fair number of Rocket League pros, like Ghost Station has them, Fireburner and Torment are playing on the same team. There's a bunch of really top-level people. Verbelli, that's Corelli and Verbluten. Verbluten's been around for a little while. Unfortunately, Corelli and him are playing against Lethamir and Memory, so I don't know how well they're going to do, but I want to see that game, hopefully.
And what about you, Shogun? What can you tell us about this first game? Obviously, Flyquest taking on the Late Night Crew. Anyone you're looking out for? Is this going to be a learning experience for you?
I'm definitely saying that, Flyquest, they're definitely coming into this one as the favourites. They are such a strong team. They're such a mechanical team, which, as we saw last week, is very much one of the best ways of making your mark in these 2v2s, where necessarily teamwork wasn't working as well as just giving a ball to someone and just saying, okay, go and do
Beat
some
all
damage.
of them.
Yeah, pretty much. So we're going to see whether or not that does change this week, but I think this is going to be a very difficult time for the Late Night Crew.
Okay, then. Well, that is our game number one we're going to have coming up. But we've got to remind you guys of a few things at home as well. A few things to keep your eyes out for. And one of them, of course, is our Dual Force Achievement Unlock. Now, this will be given to any player in a series who scores 7 goals and makes 11 saves. You can see it flashing blue beautifully here. I almost got my hands in. Did I get it right? Yeah. Absolutely nailed it. But that'll be given to any player, as I say, who scores 7 goals and gets 11 saves in one series. We've already given 2 away last week, so we'll be looking to do exactly that again. Now, on a slightly more serious note, we are still continuing the fight against world hunger during this broadcast, thanks to our fantastic partners over at Soylent. For every single goal that is scored, there will be 10 meals donated to the USA World Food Programme, which is a fantastic cause. If you want to get involved as well, and hopefully you do at home, head over to wfpusa.org/Universal Open. So keep an eye out for the amount of goals scored, all going to a very, very good cause. Now, gentlemen, we've had a lot of goals already scored. We've had a lot of meals given away already. Hopefully we're going to have some more goals today, because that's why I was excited about the first day of the East qualifiers. We had a lot of goals on day one.
Yeah, we had about 74 if memory serves correct.
That is good memory.
Because
I'm impressed.
I remember because I guessed 75 and I didn't.
It's the heartbreak that.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, the heartbreak.
That's the real reason.
I'm with you,
not the good memory, but we actually had the most goals scored on day number 3. We had like 80 some, if I remember right. So
it was 94.
94. We almost made
94.
100.
Yeah, that was crazy.
It was pretty high up there, but I think that last week we had a little bit of a problem on day one where teams were sort of, beating against teams that they really should be beating, and they showed some weakness during those matches. What was the rule we set up last week, Mr. Onset?
You're asking me to have a memory here.
No mercy. No mercy.
No rule. No mercy. That was it. No mercy. Shogun, ask me again.
Onset! let's pretend it never happened.
Okay.
Onset, I've got a question for you, buddy.
No mercy. Dad. Never mind. No mercy. That's what we want to see, though. No mercy. We want to see as many goals as possible. Shogun makes a great point.
Yeah, no mercy. Come on. We're all here.
Slay.
Might as well. Goals for charity. That is a
point.
good way of going about it. If they don't want to get scored on, they should probably defend better.
What else can you say to that?
Yeah.
Shogun teaching you how to win Rocket League in the most simple way possible. The game is about to get underway in the background, so we'll get into that as soon as we can. But obviously, Flyquest versus the Late Night Crew. We talked a little bit about these teams. How do you think they stack up against some of the teams that we saw last week?
Against some of the teams that we saw last week, not too bad. There's going to be a few teams from each region that's going to make those regionals and of course, the grand finals super interesting. So we'll have to see how it pans out. But Shogun, we've made it. It's all yours. It's game 1, Flyquest Late Night Crew.
Yep, we're going to get ourselves started off for the first match of this week. Remember, we are here 3 days in a row, so make sure you stick with us for every single match, every single goal, maybe every single game 5, although Gerblo, maybe, just maybe. Now, last week at the Chiefs, there was a couple of players out there that really caught us out. Gerblo could be one of those players. I would not be against that.
I mean, it's a great start. no questions asked for the late night crew, and you know, there, like you said, there were definitely a couple players who really stood out last week. Sipical and Roldiz really kind of took us by surprise, as well as the Upper 90 Esports Rapid and First Killer. Weren't sure how well they were going to do, but this one is maybe even more of a surprise, as there's not much for us to go on for Gerblo and Exposition. These are two players that really have their work cut out for them, and to start off so well, it's nice to see.
Well, as we do know, one goal is very rarely enough in 2v2 Rocket League.
I don't think we had a single game go 1-0.
I think there was one, because I remember complaining the game afterwards that there was 9.
Space Station. Splice versus Space Station.
And there's going to be the follow-up shot. Wonder making this 1 goal apiece. That lead didn't get to last too long.
Was a nice quick equalizer. It took him a little bit to get going, but a nice challenge from Prime Thunder, and Wonder just able to beat him out. Exquisition, if he takes a bit more passive approach, realizes that he's beat to that ball, he probably gets there.
Well, he is rocking the Twinser.
Style points.
One of the newest cars to be coming out.
Hot Wheels update, yeah?
Yeah.
The Twinser and the Bone Shaker.
I believe that was the Twin Mill that came out.
Twin Mill, yes.
This is a new one. This is basically an Octane variant.
Yes, thank you. Twinser is the Octane, no spoiler. Thank you, Show.
Oh, Wonder wants to spoil this match for us. Wasn't quite able to make contact with the ball though, so we could just come up to 90 seconds played in this match. Good save from Wonder. And then there's a slow follow-up that's going to allow them to recorrect their position. Late Night, if they really want a chance here, they've got to take the chances, as small as they might be, whenever they can. That might be a setup chance.
Oh, he missed
not
it.
Quite on target. Exquisition. No one will be happier to see that than him.
Yeah, Late Night Crew in general, they realized they really got away with one, and to top it all off, Wonder came in for the double commit, probably hoping they could have got away with a free goal there. And Flyquest, a little bit surprising to see them have perhaps not the cleanest start.
They don't look too fluid, do they?
I mean, they'll still get a goal.
It is still a goal, but they're very close to one another in the rotation. There's not really much spreading out. I would like to see them get a little bit wider, use the space somewhat more, because at this moment in time, they're very close. They're pretty much doing the exact same thing.
It is kind of surprising just thinking about how long Wonder and Prime Thunder have been playing together. Almost a year and a half at this point. And it is kind of surprising to see them crowd each other a little bit. Could be some unfamiliarity with 2v2 in general.
Well, I spoke to Karma last week after she managed to qualify for the next round, and she was saying, look, we don't play twos. Twos isn't necessarily something that we focus on. Could be the same thing over here. And that's going to be going in. Oh my goodness, I think there was a bump there, but there's no excuse for the other one. Either way, if you turn around to someone and said, hey, Prime Thunder scored a ceiling flip reset goal, that you'd say it was pretty good.
PT did clip Gerblo on the way down there as well, so validation for the miss on defense, but a heck of a play from Prime Thunders. There's no question about that.
So just over half the game now played. Late Night Crew really need to find another gear right now, because Flyquest seem to be rolling through this match. Shot to the far side. Will not test Wonder. Now he's going to try and use the ceiling himself. He's seen what Prime Thunder can do. Instead, pitches it off the ground into the net.
You know, the best part is that it's pretty much the exact opposite of what Prime Thunder did. Prime Thunder was like, I'm going to go for the ceiling shot and put the air dribble into the net. Wonder's like, I'm going to go for the ceiling shot, go for the ground punch, and put that one into the net. So, you know, they're really showcasing the options.
Grace.
Style and grace.
Versus power, basically. It was just screaming power.
I mean, that's a personal philosophy that I subscribe to very much so when I play.
Hey, if it works, it works.
Hit the ball really hard, and it tends to work out for you.
Hitting the ball very hard has worked all my career so far. It's not been a very lavish career, but it's been good enough.
How much is your total tournament winning, Shogun? About 50? Well, sorry.
I have a scarf.
50 quid?
No, I have a scarf. And I have £100 in vouchers.
Okay.
So I'm a well-traveled vet at this point. Been speaking to some of the websites that refuse to update my player profile. Apparently they don't count as real winnings.
That's disappointing.
That is disappointing, but Flyquest won't be disappointed with this score at this moment in time. Looking for the clear, but 0 boost means 0 power.
Pretty clean chance.
Trying so hard to get the boost. I think it's the 3rd time now Flyquest have hit the woodwork. They could be up by 6 or 7 at this point in time. And
How
trying
about
to
this
get 5.
one? Oh, no. 2 in a row.
They're being too fancy. What was the rule? What was the rule, Achieves?
No mercy.
No mercy.
Put
I
the
am
ball in the net.
currently, in my vision, seeing mercy.
Now, here's a question. Is it mercy or wanting to really to show off a little bit?
Thank you, Gerblo. I don't care. I don't care about it.
It's redeemed.
It's redeemed. That's 6 goals. It's a happy Shogun.
That's a happy Shogun is right, and it's a pretty good one. Prime Thunder again, like you said,
I
crowding
just
Wonder a
refer to
little
myself
bit.
in the third person.
That's fine.
No, it's not. It really is
okay.
not.
You know, tell you what. Explain to me. What's the problem with it for you? What issues do you have with that?
One name. Johnny Bravo.
That's a reference. Wow. And you know what? Completely valid.
Completely valid. So who I reminded myself of right there. Wonder, trying to get back out. Now Prime Thunder misses the ball. Only a few seconds left in this game.
I'm just thinking, I really want to hear you do like a Johnny Bravo accent
I
now.
can't do any impression. I can do an impression of me, and that's about it. Wonder, his shot will not be on target. It looks like 6 is about as good as it's going to get. As that will drop to the floor. Flyquest taking game number 1. It definitely looks like they've got a level above that they can reach.
I definitely think they can do more. I would have to agree with that. But Late Night Crew honestly kind of surprised me. They were under a fair amount of pressure, but it's not like they were getting, you know, taken a term, really.
Yes.
I was really concerned at one point there we were going to get a rock-style promo from Shogun. The Shogun says, I can't believe you've done it.
Again.
You've just referred to yourself in the first person. But a great game to start with. Impressive performance there, obviously, from Flyquest taking home the win there. But here's some of the replays, gentlemen. Break it down for us.
Well, it started incredibly well.
It did
then
start.
it got very difficult. I mean,
They started winning a couple of really
just
good
a little bit
challenges.
too direct for my liking. They're very predictable of the way they're trying to clear. They can sort of be spotted out, and then when they do run low on boost, it's a little bit easy to get things set up against them. If they can get that a little bit fixed, I want to see them use some width. Is what I want to see. I want to see them not hit the ball as hard as possible first time around and getting it. Instead, take the ball under their possession, get some flicks, move yourself out of your zone.
That is one of the good things about 2v2 is since you've got all that extra space to work with, it is a little bit easier to hold on to the ball initially when you're getting it clear. It is a lot easier since you've got that little buffer of space to work with. You can really hold on to possession. It might not be a long possession, but you are at least giving yourself a chance to get something started.
Well, one thing that we can get started is, of course, the amount of meals that will be given away. We had 6 goals in that first match, so just a reminder to you that means 60 meals already will be donated to the World Food Programme USA, thanks to our partners over at Soylent. If you will get involved, head over to wfpusa.org/universal open to get involved with what is a fantastic cause. But game 2, gentlemen, you were talking Shogun at the start of the show about how individual skill was kind of prevalent last week in the teams that were succeeding. We saw a couple of nice goals in there from the first one from Prime Thunder and then one from Wonder as well. 2 different types of goal, but showing that they can get it done as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I have a question for you. As you're like the most neutral of us, which one was better?
I like the ceiling. I like the pinch.
You like the pinch?
I like the pinch
ground
because there was
the pinch.
No, I'm going for the pinch.
He likes the ground pinch. That's fair.
Well, what we will like is getting ourselves into game number 2.
Ooh.
Flyquest. Just trying to capitalize on the momentum that they set themselves up for last game. Like I said, they do seem like they've got a level above. I also want to see no mercy.
I would just like to see Gerblo and Exposition perhaps take that extra half second to really make sure that they've got a solid challenge lined up.
Yeah, it's definitely something you can argue against for threes, where players try to play out a little bit too often and basically force their team to be stuck in the final third. But the worst you're going to get here is a 1-for-1 trade.
Wow.
Most of the time. That could set up your teammate for a very good opportunity just to try and win another 1-for-1 trade or have enough space just to take an immediate shot. But because they're so panicked at trying to get the ball out.
Well, I don't know if it feels like panic to me personally. It just feels like...
Is it a panic or is it a lack of ideas? It's one or the other.
Well, that's a heck of a save from Exposition, and it's probably just the lack of ideas. Because I don't feel like they feel like they're getting massively outclassed. And Game 2 are going to start off very similarly to to game number 1. Exquisition with a great clear over the head of Prime Thunder. And Gerblo with a perfect touch.
Yeah, and Gerblo actually holding himself further out. This is the first time we've seen Late Night utilize extra room and leaving someone down at the midline, forcing the mistake out from Flyquest, who are too far forwards.
They've done that a few times.
Might be too much confidence.
I mean, you can't blame them. They kind of
really
put a couple style points on in game number 1. Is patient challenge from Gerblo, risky. Prime Thunder put that in the top of the net. There's no way they're getting to it.
I'm going to try and force the challenge out this time around. Wonder, waiting, spot, and there's going to be no one to that. Definitely chose him as his own best option, trying to get the ball into the back of the net, but Late Night could see 2 minutes done in this game with them up by a goal to nothing. It's going to be a little bit difficult for Wonder to take control of. And boost is not taken up by Prime Thunder. Why? Because he's got plenty already.
He did use a lot of it, though. Now he doesn't have too much to work with, and they have to kind of get the ball up.
Good challenge there. 2v1.
Oh, this is a free goal.
Exposition flicks up high. Prime Thunder already on the backboard. Most players always there. Gives you so many options to turn around and do basically whatever you want.
And that was mostly an error in recognition from Exquisition. I actually realized I don't know how to say his name.
We Exposition, didn't we?
Yeah, we did, but I actually just looked at it, and it's Exquisition.
That one's not going to go in. Exquisition. The newly renamed Exquisition at this point.
The artist formerly known as Exquisition.
Back down, Wonder. Almost down to 2 minutes now. Late Night.
Nice, Timo.
We'll start dreaming at this point of maybe picking up a win.
Oh, they can't get beat like that. Wonder.
That's a bad touch as well. Gerblo flicking it out. Will not be able to win the second challenge. This is crucial. That's a decent enough touch. It's over the top of the heads.
Gerblo got too far forward, though. Did make it back, no problem, but Flyquest definitely threatening here, and a nice challenge. This might be free if Gerblo can get there quick enough.
Just a little boost, but he's still racing. The shot is not on target, and now Exquisition has got to get himself back in time, but it did roll straight up. Flyquest. You can see Prime Thunder. He's got it locked. He's got it loaded. And then he shoots the back of the net.
A nice follow through from Prime Thunder. And again, this is that recognition from Late Night Crew, just not quite respecting that option. They've got ball cam on Exquisition sitting there in the middle of the box. He's sort of watching that ball, reading the bounce, and he doesn't realize that Prime Thunder is still following this ball in the air. And as soon as he sees him, by then it's too late.
It's amazing because that is the one we've seen Prime Thunder achieve some incredible stuff, but that's the one I could see him missing. It's the one where you're given way too much time to think and way too much time to position. You can kind of overcorrect.
I do that all the time.
We all do that all the time, trust me. I believe Wrong Way Woody's old phrase was, the ball was coming at me too slow. I couldn't save it.
That feels the worst, too, when you let in those, 5-km/h rollers right past you.
Nice flick.
Oh, no.
That could go in. It's going to go in. Wonder makes it 2-1.
It's a tough touch here. It's a nice catch from Wonder off that sidewall. Kept it very close, and Exquisition, I don't know if there's really too much for him at fault there. He was just rotating into the net, and Gerblo perhaps a little bit too slow on the aggression.
Very well done, though, to keep that flick as low as it was.
Yeah.
Usually above the backboard, let your teammate come in and move. So it's still 2-1 is the scoreline. Wonder.
Oh, he's got
won't have any setup. Prime Thunder is all the way back.
Here's a chance here. Wonder's kind of trapped in the other half.
Oh, it's a race. Gerblo is beat to it by Wonder. They're throwing everything at this one. It's not going to work out, though. Gerblo taken out of the play. Just have to set it up. Oh, no. Exquisition keeping his team in it. They've got to find one more opportunity for themselves. It's going to be very difficult to get a hold of that opportunity.
That's a chance here.
Go for the flick. Might be above Wonder, who just taps that ball on. Prime Thunder in the way of the oncoming shot.
Oh, nice challenge.
Keeping the pressure going, though. One challenge win could really set this up.
Oh, great clear.
Held himself on the wall. That will touch the floor. Flyquest, 2-0 up. On set, I'm not sure where I stand on this at this point in time, because it's a very slow game that we're seeing. Last week, especially like day 3, it was incredibly fast. It was the same pace as roughly like a Freeze game, but this one, very methodical.
Yeah, it seems like teams are kind of thinking about, okay, we're going to defend now, and then we're going to transition to attack when we're comfortable with it and move forward. Whereas last week it was more like, we've made it safe, we're going straight away. Like, we're chasing the ball down, we'll find a pass or make a play from there. But game 2, as you say, in the bag now, just one game away now from closing out the series, much like we expected to see. But again, not for the first time there. We saw the guys on Late Night Crew take the lead in the game. It was a breakaway goal, but they have shown they can score. It just seems like there's been a few mistakes, maybe defensively on the defensive side of things, when they have conceded goals that could have been stopped.
Well, also the big problem is that they only had 2 shots on net compared to Flyquest 9. So, I mean, yes, they get the lead. The problem is they allow too many chances for Wonder and Prime Thunder. When you've got 2 players as good as those guys are, and perhaps maybe outclassed a little bit by them, it's really tough to stop them. Now, to be fair, they had a couple of really good chances to get those quick breakaway goals and really put a cushion to that lead. Unfortunately, they just couldn't convert them quick enough.
What I did really like is that they started to allow themselves some more space across the field, especially for that first goal. For the first time, we actually saw someone available for a pass rather than them just blasting the ball downfield and essentially giving away possession over to Flyquest. So some more of that, and maybe we can see something built.
Well, they've got their last theoretical chance here. Well, they will go down to the lower bracket should they lose. It's not the end of the road for Late Night Crew if they go down here. But how about this fake? Yes! I love it!
What makes this one even better is the style of Prime Thunder as he comes down. Ignore the ball for a second, and he just slides across the ground.
That's so good. Hey, Prime Thunder, you can put that one in your montage. That's a good one.
Black and white. Black and white cinema effects. There we are.
Do you have a montage, Shogun?
No, I do have one. I have one called The Wall.
The Wall.
The Wall.
Okay.
It's just really bad saves on a Merc. But it was made that way.
That was the intended.
It was the intent, trust me. It's a parody montage of sorts.
Okay. What you should have said is call it The Wall, but it's just own goals with the Merc.
I don't own goal. I don't own goal. Exquisition. Still trying to find a way out. It's Flyquest taking their time. They're going to use every single inch of this pitch. Something I do like, there's something to be said about players that are very happy to use that backboard to take the ball up rather than panicking and just trying to play the ball as quickly as possible. And that goal just puts Late Night Crew even further behind.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they've got comeback potential in them.
Yeah, that one was a pretty obvious goal. It was a sort of hesitant challenge coming out of Gerblo out of the backfield, and Exquisition just didn't have enough time to rotate back, and you sort of knew as soon as they missed that first challenge it was going to be a pretty free goal. But lack of comeback potential, if they keep the amount of shot chances that they got in games 1 and 2, then yeah, pretty good odds this one might be over, but we don't know. We have seen Flyquest sort of give them a couple goals they really probably shouldn't have had, so who knows? Oh, this is a great chance here.
Prime Thunder sitting back too
got
long
it. Oh,
off
no.
the post. The Woodworker has been Late Night Crew's best friend for the majority of this series, but it's now switched allegiance. It's now on the blue team.
It goes both ways, man. Woodwork is the most impartial, all-time best goalie.
You'll get 0 arguments from me when it comes to that. Everyone knows that. Gerblo, that
Tough
could be
one.
something incredible. He's actually got it set up, but Prime Thunder will win the challenge. He will win the race. And speaking of races, Wonder is basically in a one-horse one at this point in time.
Needs some help.
Set up.
Needs some help from Prime Thunder, and that all stems from that challenge right in front of that blue net. Gerblo went for that shot attempt right in front of it, tried to get that block, and his angle just didn't respect how quickly Flyquest were going to get to that. He was thinking, okay, this is a free ball to myself. No one's going to be able to challenge this, and it's just not realizing that Flyquest are pretty quick.
Oh, both players out. Gerblo and Exquisition. Both think they could get over to it. Neither of them was able to. Flyquest 4 goals to nothing. And it is
now the
starting
comeback
to get away
potential
from
is,
them.
Now it's a little bit gone. And I think Gerblo and Exquisition, I mean, obviously they know they got to make something happen, but I mean, to be honest, they kind of know what they have to fix. It's just like, okay, this is the competition we're up against at this level of this tournament. And I think they realize that they just have to give their opposition a little bit more respect. Because again, we don't know what these guys played against to get to the closed qualifiers, as they did have to qualify through open qualifiers, and you get a large breadth of skill in those open qualifiers. And both of these teams probably just cruised right through it. And I think Gerblo and Exquisition are now just kind of realizing, okay, this is some tough competition.
Yeah, this is definitely the question that comes up, especially when people ask, what is the difference between a Grand Champ and a Pro? Vast.
One hits the ball
vast.
every time from anywhere. And the other
one's
one,
a Pro.
And one Shogun, yes.
Let's not talk about me anymore. Apparently I've talked about me way too much so far. I always don't want to talk about me just in case that comes back up. Prime Thunder. Gonna try and go the entire way backwards. In fact, now he's thought just a little bit better of it. Negative style points, however. Shot.
Denied.
The post has now switched allegiance once again.
Indeed. That's the post ultimate motivation. It's just sitting here like, I don't care whose team you're on. I'm just after the 4 million save mark.
It's chaos evil, isn't it? Or chaos neutral, actually.
Chaotic neutral, yeah. That is definitely the post alignment, no doubt.
Wonder.
Oh, he's trying to style on him. Oh.
Tries to win the challenge out. Just over a minute remaining now.
Ooh.
Flyquest.
One for the road.
Being stretched just a little bit, but here's my problem. You've got to hit those balls nice and hard.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a very good position to be in, but if you can't follow up before the opposition can recover, then there's very little that you can gain.
Yeah, just too much time to have that attack really develop. Oh, that's free.
That is beautiful from Wonder. Twirling, twisting. Terrific from him.
Whee! Graceful, smooth. The epitome.
We're running out of words to describe that goal.
The epitome of casual goal scoring from Flyquest.
For late night, the lower bracket is still around for them. They are not out of this tournament just yet, as with every other team that loses in this lower bracket. Also, there's like a little bit of a luck to the draw at this moment in time, because Yeehaw.
Yeah, I was about to say, here's a
down there.
question. They got DQ'd because they didn't show up fast enough. Do they go down to the loser's bracket, or are they just out?
I have
That's a good
genuinely
question.
don't know.
That's a good question.
Back to the corner, Prime Thunder. Let's see if he can go coast to coast. That one's read pretty well. That's been trapped back down. Even Exquisition did not expect that.
Prime Thunder doesn't like to have fun.
And that's going to go just over top.
He'll
Will
get
we
one
get
himself.
one more for the road?
There we go. Oh, there's 1 second left.
Yeah,
Never
there's
mind.
1 second left. You're not allowed to say it. You're not allowed to say it. It's only for 0 seconds.
Can't go in your montage, Prime Thunder. There's time on the clock. In all effect, you just lost the game.
Oh, the bracket might disagree with you in just a second. However, for Flyquest, this definitely was the 9 to 5 for them. They showed up to the office, they did the work they needed to do, and they are through to the next round.
Well, very much through to the next round. A convincing 3-0, much like we started last week, gentlemen, with our first game. It was a bit of a 3-0 Tuesday, which doesn't rhyme or sound that good, but it was it was a thing, okay? But the most important thing is we had 15 goals during that series, which was very impressive. 15 goals, which translates to 150 meals, thanks to our fantastic partners over at Soylent in the fight against World Hunger. If you want to get involved, of course, head over to wfpusa.org/Universal Open. But gentlemen, a convincing performance, some style points in there, and a goal that actually reminded me of watching you on a slip and slide at one point.
But how have you been watching me on a slip and slide?
I've got a very, very powerful telescope.
Okay.
That is both concerning and amazing.
Now, you know what? I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it. I now know, because now I can mess with him.
And that's the real thing to take away from that.
Yes.
But it was a pretty good series from Flyquest. But again, they have to realize that is probably going to be the easiest game that they play here in this closed qualifiers. Flyquest needs to kind of realize, okay, we've beat them. We're through the first round. Now you got to, take it back into the lab for a second, workshop it, really get it in form for when you start playing those really tough opponents.
Yes, obviously we're going to see them quite a bit now. I believe they've got to play once more today. And then if they do win that one, then we don't see them all the way up until Thursday.
Yeah.
So they're looking pretty good right now. I mean, even if there is a significant shift up in competition, they still look pretty comfortable right there. So Flyquest making their mark.
Yeah, Flyquest making the mark. Be interesting to see when they go up against a little bit tougher opposition potentially in the next match. But let's give you a quick brisk bracket update now to see exactly how that has affected. And obviously we've got other games going on as well. So let's keep you up to date. Word versus Blue Angels yet to happen. Oxygen, the 3-0, as we said. Yeehaw, unfortunately, they were DQ'd in that match. They're down in the lower bracket, you can see there. Flyquest obviously taking home that win. They'll be moving on. So at the moment, only Oxygen taking down Yeehaw and that disqualification that's occurred, and Flyquest there as well. So not too much to update everyone with the brisk bracket update.
Well,
but
I did look at their opposition in the next round, and again, those are two teams that there's not too much real intel on. So I don't know. Maybe Flyquest might cruise on to day 3.
Well, they'll certainly be hoping so. And again, you guys at home, make sure you get involved. Use the hashtag UOS2. It's up here above Achieves' head. It's going to be there the entire time. If you forget about it, just look at Achieves. We will love to. But that's going to do us all for now. When we get back, we'll have our game number 2 coming up, as we just saw Flyquest complete their 3-0 win over Late Night Crew. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just a moment.
So you'll be here to help if I need you?
I got you.
What about here?
Yep.
Here?
Yes, Kyle.
And here's Sir Robert from State Farm.
If you invite me.
Go with the one that's here to help life go right. State Farm.
Every moment is a new beginning. You made me come
this really what I think it is? Am I really the one you need? Desperate times running around, chasing each other down. Is this really what I think it is? Helpless, and the walls are caving in. Can't breathe now, losing my sanity. I'm calling, shouting out your name. I'm calling. Is this really what I think it is? Am I really the one you need? Desperate times running around, chasing each other down. Is this really what I think it is? Your silhouette out of the corner of my eye. Out of the corner of my eye. Your silhouette out of the corner of my eye. Out of the corner of my eye. Is this really what I think it is? Am I really the one you need? Desperate times running around, chasing each other down. Is this really what I think it is? Is this really what I think it is? Am I really the one you need? Desperate times running around, chasing each other down. Is this really what I think it is?
Dance all night in the moonlit sky. When the sun comes up, it's our last goodbye. Won't let go, I don't wanna leave paradise. You make everything feel alright. You bring every piece of me to life. When we're looking eyes, I lose my mind, my mind. Crash like waves playing in the sand. Live life hard, never looking back. Life's too short in the promised land. Promised land. You make everything feel alright. You bring every piece of me to life. When we're looking eyes, I lose my mind, my mind. Amnesia.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry for the slight delay there. We just had to get Shogun back in the room. He refused to come back unless we stopped talking about him talking in the third person. So we're at our back now, and it's going to be Verbelli taking on Mercury Pencils in our next game. We have just seen, of course, Flyquest take their game 3-0, but we're back, and it's time for some more action. Let's talk about these two teams. We're going to start with you, Achieves, because I can see Shogun's he's angry at the end there. He's angry. Look at him.
So a little bit of backstory. Corelli has been around the scene for forever. He played on a team called Jirelli's Goodies. He used to be actually good at this game, and now he's just kind of good at this game. Verbluten has also been around the scene for a really long time, has played with a lot of top-level players, big community guy. As for their opposition, Mercury Pencils, Vandry, and I'll just say DECXP, because I don't know how to say that name, to be honest.
We've got to figure it out very quickly here.
Yeah. If anything, you're up against it here.
Not too much to go on for these guys as well, just like the last game with... sorry, I forget their name already. Late Night Crew, right. Not too much to go off for those guys. So, interesting to see. Corelli and Verbluten were asking me in the Twitch chat to say nice things. And, well, if you play well, maybe I will.
That's a good point. What about you, Shogun? You calm down?
Have I calmed down? I was feeling calm. I walked back in here. I was feeling all good. And then he brought it back up again.
Look, if you make these mistakes, you know I'm going to pounce on them. You know that you do exactly the same. So don't shake your head. You're just jealous that you didn't get there first.
I would never, in my entire career, wait for someone to make a mistake and then immediately pounce on it.
Use the hashtag UOS2 to put in every example you've ever seen of Shogun doing exactly that.
At him in every single one.
That they're out there. But, I mean, Shogun, what are you expecting from this game? Is it much like Achieves, just sort of looking to, again, some names that we might uncover here in the Universal Open Season 2?
I would definitely be a little bit afraid if I was Corelli and his teammate because, like I said, names that we're not too sure of. We're also not too sure. I mean, yes, we know Corelli used to be incredible at this game and very much the top level, but there are a lot of players out there who have definitely dropped off in that amount of time. It's been at least 2 years now since he was at the top level. I mean,
he's still Grand Champ.
He's still Grand Champ, but I can tell you right now, it doesn't mean much.
Shogun
doesn't mean much.
Ultra Grand Champ.
I was trying to say about saying that, just like that was gonna be self-deprecation.
Did you see that? That was like one of those things where Shogun again is like, I'm not going to bring it up because he knows that I'd go straight in and be like, you brought it up again. But he just skirted around it enough that one of us had to say something about it. Very smart. I respect that. But we are going into the game now. As we said previously, it's going to be Verbelli versus Mercury Pencils. It's a lower bracket game as well. So whoever wins this one stays alive. Whoever loses, unfortunately, it's the end of the tournament.
It's very much the case as we get ourselves in here. Verbelli need to try and pick something up. Onset gives me a heart across the screen because he knows that I have not even started on him yet. But he is definitely inviting it at this point in time.
He's asking for it. Great pass.
Good passing play. It's going to go up to Deck. And that name is a little bit easier to pronounce than the one that we were given on our sheets.
The XP really threw me for a loop, you know.
Yeah, DXP. Or Deck XP. Yeah, I'm glad we're not seeing that right now.
Right.
That's a good shot, though. Even better save there from Deck. It will be 2v1 just for the time being, but no real capitalization from Verbelli.
Yeah, they're kind of just coasting through this first minute. I think they're really just kind of getting their toes wet here to start off and see what they're really up against. Good chance here, though.
Not able to turn it in. Deck does an incredibly good job of pushing that ball over to the side. Another infield pass attempted from them. They've attempted that a couple of times at this point. They don't want to make it too obvious, but at least they've got that in their arsenal. Vandry. Take a second flick afterwards. A lot more power there. I don't believe anyone was expecting, but still not all that dangerous. It really hasn't been too much dangerous from either side just yet. It's very much a neutral battle.
Ooh, Corelli caught a little too far forward.
We'll be able to save. Follow-up coming through from Deck. That's way too much angle for him to really follow up on. He's going to try and drop this for a teammate. Back out. Deck will wait to see his teammate. Try to clear. It wasn't too powerful, though. Corelli.
The most passive game of 2v2 I've ever seen.
I didn't know Corelli could do this passive.
Honestly, yeah, I actually totally agree with that. I've played with Corelli, and I've always made the... Well, not always, but I've made the joke that he plays Rocket League exactly like he posts on social media.
What, he misses?
Nah, he'll just try and style on people, and he plays really fast. It's like if you could put a meme god into Rocket League, it would be how Corelli plays it.
No way, that was definitely a great opportunity they had just a second ago. Corelli might get attempt number 2, but Can't turn that one on target.
Maybe Corelli tryharding is different than Corelli casual.
Well, it definitely is a case of it's a different format. It's a different style of play.
Oh no, I
go
played
for.
duos with them. No, it's totally the same.
Feeling that little bit of pressure on him.
It is true.
Either way, it's still 0-0. We could be on our way to seeing that all-elusive 1-0 game. Only one of those last week. Shot going to go over the top, but Asail reads that one pretty comfortably. There's been very little in terms of pace, either from the cars or from the players. That one is going to go to the side.
Oh.
Follow-up shot will be scored. There's 1-0.
And it finally took a really weak clear from Corelli. Verbluten tried to get the follow-up just because he knew that touch wasn't quite up there. It's just there's not too much beyond it. It's a poor clear. It's a little bit low to the ground, and it's capitalized on.
Just after complaining about the lack of power and the lack of pace on the ball, suddenly ends up being the difference maker. Vandry puts that one off the backboard. Follow up. Very late. Corelli, much more venom on that hit. Deck.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Wait until the final second to use that second flip, but now it's 2v1. Asail Verb decides to go for
what
it
a
himself.
catch.
And he takes it into the back of the net. 1 goal apiece.
Great play there from Verbluten. A solid dribble. Takes a lot of time in that midfield, buys that free real estate down into the orange side, just making him respect all the options he has there, and a solid finish. Maybe a little bit lucky with the catch off the post, but you take what you can get, and it's a brilliant equalizer in short order.
Wait for the entire game to get ourselves some goals on the board. And then immediately we get 2 right after one another.
Another chance here.
Back out, Corelli. He's got plenty of time. Decides to use the wall, can get the ball back to him, but just slightly misread where the bounce is going to go. Very weak touch there from Corelli. Should be able to be controlled by Deck. Well, the pass out is an option. Also playing it by himself. That's such a dangerous position to be in, especially if you're Vandry. He's got to try and figure out which of the 2 options was about to come towards him.
Yeah, Vandry and Jack really tied up right now. They don't have a lot of boost between them. There's only 11 on Deck, and it's a tough save, and somehow not put into the net.
Well, they've got to get it in nice and soon. That boost won't be gone forever on the side of Mercury. And we've seen plenty of counter-attacking goals in this tournament so far.
Oh, Verbluten just missed that corner boost steal. That's the big chance. Deck secured that corner boost, and that allowed him to get that clear there. They finally make a small error on the attack. They're able to break free.
It's a small error at a time that you can't really afford for that many of them. 1 goal could definitely be the swing, especially with only 20 seconds left on the clock.
Ooh.
It's going to go back out. Vandry will watch. They're going to try and cover left and right. Deck covering the right. Back over to the middle. Shot off target. And Corelli will be happy to see that. He was in no position to take that one over. Over the top once again. As we head towards overtime. Deck.
Oh, nice play.
Lovely block there from Corelli. That will kill the ball dead. Overtime has been reached. This is game 1. This is all the makings of an incredibly close series.
And I kind of think whoever wins this kickoff wins the game.
No!
Yes.
Why would you send 2?
Let him have it, Shogun. Let him have it.
Oh, it's my most repeated phrase whenever I play solo standard. Why did you send 2? This time around, even more deadly. No one left around to defend that. And onset after an incredibly close game.
Your head was in your hands.
Always to end it.
I love how you just went to Shogun. Let him have it, because you could if you could have seen, if we had picture-in-picture of Shogun there, it was just like, oh come on. Yeah, a disappointing way to lose that
game. It's a bit of a
game.
tick at this point.
Yeah, exactly. It was a disappointing way to lose what was an incredibly tight game though.
And the reason I actually said that I think whoever wins that kickoff wins the game is because we saw when Verbelli really got on the offensive there in the second half of that game, that final minute, it was just pressure, 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 and they had a lot of chances to put that one away, but also Vandry and Deck, when they got going as well, it was whoever controlled the pace of the play really had a pretty good chance, and as soon as they lost that kickoff, I mean, that was all she wrote. I didn't think it was going to happen in 6 seconds. I thought it might build up a little bit more than that, but as Shogun said, why would you send 2?
Especially, it was a double central kickoff, I believe.
It was not good. It was not good.
But I believe, like the starting positions, it was double central.
Not sure off the top of my head.
Because that's a very dangerous one to be sending 2 for, because
hard to direct
at least
the ball.
like when you've got 1 on the side, 1 down the middle, you've got a little bit more leeway. Like the ball's likely just to go left or right. But if you go for the double central cheat, you go forward and that ball goes behind you, you have no response. At least the other way around, you can realize, okay, I have nothing to do. I can turn around. I can continue to defend that. But if you go for that cheat up there, you've got no way of recovering.
It's very, very true. And I mean, it was a game of missed chances for Verbelli. They had so much pressure during that game. So, yes, they've lost that game, number one. You know, unfortunate mistake towards the end. But I don't think they'll be feeling too bad going into this game, number two, knowing that they were able to sustain that pressure and create so many opportunities.
It's interesting because they should, if they won that last game, they should have run away with the rest of this because they would have had that confidence. They would have been slightly more aggressive, been there for each other's passes, and been a little bit sharper. But I'm not too sure now. If they take that loss and suddenly say, okay, we need to settle back a little bit more, I don't think that would be a good decision. So this is all down to their own mentality at this point and whether or not they have got the ability to keep the offensive going.
And that's really what I want to see out of both of these teams in game number two. I kind of want to see a little bit more aggression from both of them. They're both playing really far back. It was a very passive game number one.
Well, they are both in a position where a loss here sends them out of the tournament. Not only sends you out of the tournament, it sends you out of the tournament 0-2. Which just does not feel great at all, especially after all of the hopes that you would have coming in. Corelli stuck by himself, wasn't able to pick up the boost as part of his own pathing, so that will be quite far away. But now Deck, one-on-one, early jump, flick over the top. Who blinks first? Well, it certainly was not Deck.
Yeah, you want to talk about getting in people's heads. This is how you do it. Verbluten did the exact same thing on his goal last game, just forced the opposition to make a choice, and Deck says, what am I going to do with it? You don't even know. And he just made Verbluten look silly.
Well, Verbluten definitely won't have his confidence helped too much by the start of this game. But thankfully for us, Jeeves, we got ourselves a goal much earlier than we did in the last one. Those early goals definitely really open up these games. Deck, once again, starting to really seem
what a
on his game.
Yeah. He's picked up the pace around the field. He's coasting.
Oh, Vandry. Early jump from him. Deck beats the ball, but it's actually a pretty poor touch there from Vandry.
Oh,
Corelli's touch, though, seemed like he was taking it as a competition, equally as bad.
Deck not shy about going for bumps. I've been on his camera the past few minutes. If he has an option, he'll do it. Verbluten can't quite get the 360, or I guess it's a 180 backflip, isn't it?
It is dangerous to save, let's be honest. You've got to be able to go up there and get the challenge. But the second touch, able to push the ball away. Mercury, seeming solid, off the backboard. Verbluten's got to get contact, and he has done so, but Deck waiting down on the ground. Corelli and Verbluten given time. Vandry instead holding that midline.
Oh, and they missed the boost steal.
He's going to control the ball down. It's dangerous. He's going to go hunting for Corelli, who was able to avoid.
It's only got 40 boost.
Yeah, this is going to be pretty much down to Verbluten to make something happen. Corelli, he tried there, but now it's going to be an open goal. Deck can't get there in time. Verbluten trying to keep this game alive. Shot not on target.
One-on-one.
Breakaway opportunity, but Deck turns around in time after his own recovery. This is a game of missed chances so far. It's been a series of missed chances so far.
I really like the aggression that Deck is putting out here in this game number two.
Like especially with the pace that this has been going at. It's been needed, especially as Vandry wins the ball, and when you do that much work by yourself, you more than deserve to score it.
Yeah, just a hard cut here in the midfield. Corelli just doesn't get up to it, and Verbluten perhaps a little bit too much faith in Corelli winning that challenge, started pushing forward. He knew he couldn't possibly have the time to turn around. The best part is Vandry had no boost, so Verbluten totally did have the time to turn around and really get set to play defense. He just doesn't know that Vandry has no boost.
There comes Verbluten. Tried for the double tap. He's going to go straight out. Corelli might have just set up, especially if this touch is poor. It's poor enough just to keep that pressure on, but now cleared. Corelli in the midfield. He takes the shot. Will not trouble the goal line. 2 goals is the deficit.
They need something right about now.
Off that backboard, once again, this seems to be the bread and butter. This time it's going to work out. Mercury have looked shaky off that backboard multiple times. And finally, Verbelli able to open them up.
And it was also a really well-placed ball by Verbluten off that back wall. He didn't get it too close, put it well off to the side, just out of reach. It's a very tough decision you have to make as a defender in that spot. Do you bother going up and trying to get this one out? And they get it back on that kickoff. Oh, man, they've tied it up.
Wow, that took no time at all. And after the last kickoff went so badly against them at the end of the last game, that one has got to feel so good for Verbelli. They've tied this game up. They've got the momentum on their side. And now Mercury, they've got to pick themselves up here because
out of nowhere,
survival is going to be very difficult for 2 minutes. In fact, it might be very difficult for 20 seconds, although the shot from just not very good. Vandry taking his time. Almost took too much time there, but instead able to bait out the challenge.
Oh, no boost here from Corelli. Not much to do except steal it and leave.
He definitely does steal it. He's now turned himself around. Can't afford to double commit.
And Corelli and Verbluten really crowding each other a lot here.
Back down. Boost stolen by Deck. Wins the challenge. He can set something up here. Shot though. On target.
Oh, man.
3-2. Mercury on the verge of match point.
I honestly think this is a product of Verbluten and Corelli just kind of following the ball and chasing each other around the pitch a little bit. They don't have that clean spread of the field. It's hard to respect options from both sides of the pitch. They're just coasting around each other, following each other, and they leave an open part of the pitch, and Vandry takes perfect advantage of it. It's a brilliant shot.
I'd like to see a little bit more of here from Verbelli. Is just what is typically referred to as slingshot defense. Put someone back in the goal line and then force them straight out towards the ball. But coming at it from weird angles where even if they do get the ball, it's being pushed to a weird corner or it's giving a teammate or their opponents plenty of time to sort it back out.
2-on-1.
Back around the side.
Oh, they got the bump. Corelli wasn't ready for the bump.
And now that bump might have just set Deck free. If only had that little bit more boost to try and move the ball forward.
Right,
30 seconds.
Let's see it, Corelli. Do it to him.
Corelli, he's going to try and sort something out, but couldn't get past Vandry's defense. One goal is all Verbelli need, but right now they are trying to stave off this wave of pressure from Mercury. The touch, not great. Vandry gives him too much time, though.
Oh, my goodness.
He just watched the ball, and you're not going to miss those.
I just want to see it one more time from Verbuten's perspective. Oh, Vandry, it took too long to turn around. He didn't choose if he wanted to challenge or go back to net.
I think he made like 3 different decisions there in the space of 2 seconds.
The unforced error.
Verbelli able to come back out. Can they steal the game? They have robbed it away from Mercury.
Onset looks like you after the end of the last game, Shogun. It's brilliant. It's brilliant.
Elation for Verbelli. Remember, if they lost this game, they were on
tournament
just one
point.
game away from being knocked out of the tournament, but it's not over just yet. Got to keep that ball off the ground. Has done so very well so far. That's going to be so difficult, though. Comes off the side, doesn't hit the lip. One game apiece here.
Can we talk about kickouts for a moment here, gentlemen?
Yeah,
because,
what do you want to talk about?
Yeah,
what do you want to talk about?
Game 1, the game was won.
Okay.
With a kickoff, a mistake.
Game 2, the game was won.
There was 2 kickoff goals in that one, and again, mistakes coming in. I mean, why are these players making these mistakes at this level?
They're going for kickoffs. You just sit everyone on the goal line.
We need the 4-man fake kickoff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to see everyone run at the ball and just run away from the ball immediately afterwards.
That's bot MO 101 right there.
Well, we'd see less kickoff goals, which I believe is what we're after here.
We would see less, but there were a number of really great opportunities like that one for Mercury Pencil to really put Corelli and Verbluten away here in game number 2. And again, it's missed opportunities for both of these teams. And at the end of the day, Corelli and Verbluten were just able to convert a couple more of theirs.
Yeah, it definitely seemed like there was some mistakes, though, from Mercury when the pressure was really on them and they were asked to make defensive decisions. They didn't really make those decisions when they've got the pace on their side. They definitely seem very good at making snap-second decisions. But when you give them time to just say, what do you actually want to do, that's when they struggle.
Yeah, especially towards the end of the game, like we saw, there was one defensive mistake. It was indecision. And sometimes pressure can do funny things to people. We talked about it before. If that happens in the first 10, 15 seconds of a game, that's a totally different play. That's a play where, you know, he can have conviction in what he's going to do. But when you're up by 1 goal, you're like,
I can't let
do
it
I
go
want
in?
to travel goal? Do I want to? You know, as soon as the opportunity is created, and that's what happens. But I mean, a good performance. Now we're tied up at 1-1 once again. missed opportunities we must talk about. There was a few in there that we'll just sweep under the carpet a little bit.
I
love how
think
you
we can at this point.
I love how you say it though. It's just like, that was bad.
That was
okay,
bad.
that's fair. Because those are opportunities that if you want to stay in the tournament, that you have to take. It's quite simple.
I mean,
Exactly.
I would happily sweep those on the rug, but that's 2 games in a row now that we are seeing these mistake shots where people just need to be able to clean their plates, and it just hasn't happened so far. But whichever team does manage to do so, I would definitely say is the most likely to be able to move on to the next round.
Well, here's your most telling of games. Game 3 starts off with a banger right in the middle of the net. Deck able to save that one, but I want to see Corelli and Verbluten really fix their defensive positioning. They got to spread the field on when they rotate back on defense, or else they're asking to put themselves in a hole again, I think, here in Game 3.
Oh, it's going to be 1-on-1. Verbluten. Nice to take it up high. It's Corelli now forced to take the ball under his own possession. Not able to get there first. Verbluten up high, looking to try and bounce it off the backboard. He can follow up. It's going to be a very hard angle.
Okay.
An elaborate pass there to Corelli.
Yeah. Intentional, suspect, but either way, it worked.
Still working. They're in the offensive side of the field, but for how long?
Nice
Deck
play.
hounding away at Corelli, who does
Corelli
get the
won that
boost.
boost,
Both
yeah.
of them were trying to chase after that, and now they just sweep up underneath him. Verbluten, he's not recovered well here. Might actually open up some
Double commit.
options. And then
Oh,
the
they missed
shot.
it.
We talked about it just a moment ago. And once again, shot accuracy plaguing Mercury. They should be up 1-0.
Yeah, and Verbluten and Corelli, I mean, they're kind of gifting them these opportunities again with the poor rotations on defense, and you got to be able to capitalize on it. Great chance here, the fake, and it doesn't pay off. Corelli maybe expecting a hard pass, Verbluten let it go.
Now back down. Deck
Chance.
choosing to go all the way back. Seems like it might have been the correct decision.
Oh, he wanted it. Good idea.
Verbluten up high now. Might not last too long as Deck wants to go for the dunk. Just not quite there. This is a very tense affair between these two. All or nothing defense. Doesn't really seem to be much happening in the mid-ground.
Nice challenge from Vandry there.
That's going to go
Forced
for
it,
the
and wow.
shot! The deadlock is broken! Mercury up once again, 1-0.
Great decision there to just follow that ball. It didn't cost too much boost to continue that play and potentially have something good come out of it. And, you know, you create your own opportunities. You're not necessarily sure if it's going to work, but, I mean, you've got a chance. Why not go for it? And he creates a chance for himself, and it's a brilliant finish. That's a well-executed goal from Vandry.
Well, going to have to try and look to grab a second. Not sure I quite trust this Mercury team with a 1-goal lead, especially with this much time remaining.
Agreed.
They've got to stay on the offensive.
Oh.
Back down. Just
What
required
a play
tap.
from Corelli. What a play.
But Corelli turns his car from an Octane to a bumper car. Takes away the danger. Now he wants to add some new danger to the other side of the field. Once again, went heat-seeking missile. But Yandri able to move away. Corelli, once again, seems like he's got a new lease on life. I love this new pace. He's got to stick with it, though.
And the big question is, every time we've seen Verbelli get in a good situation like this, with pressure on the offensive half, can they clear the ball? And that is a boomer of one.
Also a missed touch. Vandry maybe respecting the defense just a little bit too much there. Could have potentially gone in for the shot.
Corelli's hunting for boost. He's got nothing.
It's going to be enough to see that one just above the back of the net. Would love to see Mercury. Seems like they're just trying to bait something out by putting it up high. I'd love to see him put it just on target, force a save, maybe force a poor save out that you can immediately follow up.
They need this. Great opportunity. Great
Infield,
pass.
Corelli up the top, but it's such a slow shot. And in the immortal words of Wrong Way Woody, I shall repeat, it's the slow ones that catch ya.
Throw him the changeup. You'll get him almost every time. Also, great play from Verbluten, forcing the opposition to jump a little bit early. Went for the bump, went for the demo, force him to move and make a reaction. And at that point, you're kind of committed. And the slow shot from Corelli combined with the pressure from Verbluten gets him home.
Corelli back over, 1 goal apiece. We said just a moment ago that maybe 1 goal was not going to be enough for Mercury. It turns out it was not.
Nice bump.
just gone from such a nervy affair to everyone just trying to ram into one another. And now it's 2 goals to 1. Verbelli, the moment that they went a goal down, it suddenly seemed like the switch got flicked and they said, oh, wait a second.
Hang on.
Let's maybe up the pace here.
Yeah, let's... once they started doing that, Deck and Vandry really haven't got a pretty strong hold on this game. They're definitely having to react. And also combine that with the fact Corelli and Verbluten are controlling the boost very well, pass in front and defended, and that might be in. It's going to be just off the mark, though.
Do love the creativity, though, from Corelli. Just in a position that was going to be very difficult to challenge. That will go blasting off to the side. Only a few more opportunities left here for Mercury. Victory here does put Verbelli up onto match point, and that demo not only gives the ball back over, but wastes precious seconds off the clock.
Pass.
Corelli straight down. Needs to get a little bit more to the right if he wants to get the pass off. And now use every single inch of the pitch. Does get red though. Back out, Corelli, unchallenged. Surprising there from Mercury.
I think Deck kind of felt he might have had a better shot trying to read where the pass was going to go instead of challenging, because if he challenges and they miss, then the game gets put away, but now they have one last chance.
Deck keeps it up. That's going to go ricocheting over the side.
Oh,
Too central there. Verbelli able to come back yet again. It's starting to become a bit of a theme here.
It's a dogfight every time they have to do it, and you're never sure if it's going to work out. But it seems at the end of every single game they've played, the pace has picked up significantly from them.
Mostly towards the end, though.
Exactly.
On set. We're seeing very slow starts to these games, but then a goal goes in like 100 seconds, 90 seconds left, and everything just starts picking up.
It's almost like we've seen repetition of the same pattern of play throughout every single game so far. It's been Mercury Pencils will score the first goal, and then from there, they're basically just on the back foot for the majority of the game, but they're just not taking the chances. But again, Verbelli, they pull out the win there, and that's an important one because now they're on match point.
Yeah, it definitely seems very... There's 2 different Mercury teams that we're seeing on this pitch. One when it's dead even or they're behind, and one when they're in the lead. They need that one where they're dead even or behind to become the main team, the one that we're seeing all the time, because when they take the lead, they get very cautious.
We're seeing a lot pressure, don't they?
They definitely invite a lot of pressure. There's a lot of times where they're very close to the center of the field, where any sort of variety in a challenge and the ball goes flying off somewhere, they're not really in a position to go and challenge or keep that pace up. So I would like to see them keep moving, because every time they slow down, they start making very weird decisions.
And also it helps that Verbelli are doing a nice job controlling the boost on their own part of the pitch. We see a lot of times somebody on Mercury Pencils, be it Vandry or Deck, they go and try and challenge for those corner boosts in that blue half of the pitch, and they lose them almost every single time, and it just takes them that far out of position.
Gotta say that was definitely Corelli's best game so far.
Yeah,
he seemed a lot more at his own pace. He was happier to use a lot more whiff. There's been a number of times in the previous games we've seen him just hit the ball as quickly as he's got it, but this time around, happy to take it up on the ceiling, force some space. Almost opened up for an easy shot, but it also almost got challenged and put into the own net, as is the risk that you run into. But this is going to be the perfect start, and we might just very well see a break to the pattern. Verbelli get the first goal.
Well, now we do get to see Mercury Pencils play from behind for the entire game, so that'll be an interesting experience. We'll have to see what they do.
The first thing they need to do is get this kickoff in their favor. And it is, however, it's on the far side.
This is the first game that Verbelli have scored first.
Big pressure right now on Mercury. They have to win this, otherwise they are eliminated.
Good chance
from
here.
Season 2 of Universal Open, and Deck has responded magnificently.
Deck has played this expertly. You are not wrong. And on the flip side of the coin, Verbluten has made a terrible decision coming out of the midfield. He had
Deck
no
with
boost.
The flip. It was actually Andri.
Okay. Deck is the finisher, but Andri wins the critical challenge. But Verbluten out of the midfield, 0 boost. And well and truly beat to that ball, and he bit real hard and cost his team a big goal there.
Mercury, as we mentioned, better when behind. Now Yandri with the shot into the net, and suddenly the story is back.
And we've seen this shot a couple times here from Mercury Pencils. Corelli's not in the worst spot, but he is edging a little bit forward, and again, a perfectly placed ball into the far post. almost unsavable unless you're already there.
Suddenly the roles are switched here. Mercury gotta keep their lead intact. What a demo there from Deck. The shot was a gimme at that point, and now he's off dodging, just trying to keep that ball away from his net. He's got plenty of boost to move this, and he has done as such before finally being taken out with the way he was playing. Might be the only way to try and stop that, but the shot not on target. Follow-up will be. Mercury up 3-1.
Now that initial shot is something that Vandry is going to have to put home if they play later rounds of this bracket. That was a wide open net on that first chance. And if you give teams the second chance like that, that are a couple steps above Corelli and Verbluten, if you can't convert those, you're probably going to get creamed. But either way, it's a great conversion right there. They got a 2-goal lead, a pretty good chance to equalize up the series now.
The goal scoring rate that we're seeing in this game, I won't put anything past anybody, as that's going to be Corelli. The setup play was incredibly good, but it was right into the body. Now Deck trying to launch. Verbluten can't follow up his own touch, but he might not need to. And is that some of the hesitation that we have criticized Mercury Pencils for starting to rear its head?
It's kind of an interesting question, because they got to respect the fact that Verbluten has the ability to launch that ball down the pitch. At the same time, they have two people right there. One of them could definitely go for it. And I think they're just in that, okay, hold on to this lead mindset. And that's cost them a couple times before.
3 minutes in a game of twos. That 2-goal lead,
Feels
very
like
flimsy
it's
compared to it would be in a 3v3 game. Deck looking to try and find some way of gaining some breath. Shot on target, once again saved.
And again, Corelli and Verbluten controlling this boost on the opposition side in the midfield. They're making it very hard for Vandry and Deck to get a foothold in this game.
Deck can't put that straight into the body of Corelli. This is exactly why.
Missed
off
it.
The crossbar.
But they keep stealing all that boost, and they just keep the pressure up. Yeah, they know they missed a big chance, but Deck and Vandry don't have a lot to work with here.
Rather interestingly, that back left one on the side of the orange team was left. Still hasn't been picked up just yet. Deck seems comfortable with what he's got. Seems like the right idea. He is flipping and flopping. It's working, I assume.
It's great traversal of the pitch. I mean, I know I would have messed that up and just spun out. So well played. Keep the speed up and the pressure going, but they need to win this challenge here out of the midfield.
Good flick. That actually didn't do too much to delay. It's going to be Deck all by himself, and to be honest, he didn't have much control over that situation. Verbelli just couldn't get the shot anywhere that would really trouble Mercury Pencils. And with every second that passes, Game 5 becomes more and more likely, but we've now hit that 90-second mark, and every time we hit this mark, the game explodes into action even more than previous, and we're seeing this from the pressure as Verbluten couldn't make contact. Any sort of touch there from him likely would have put the ball into the back of the net.
And here's the amazing part, is that Corelli and Verbluten really are commanding this game. They're saying, look, we're driving the pace, you're going to have to stop us. And Vandry and Deck have met almost every single challenge, and they might be able to put it away. Corelli's back too quick.
Another shot. Far to the right.
Got to put that in. Tough shot, but it needs to go in.
Needs to at least be closer into an area. There's Corelli. What a shot from him. Verbluten keeps that pressure on. Verbelli want this over in Game 4. Corelli knows that he's not going to be able to get to that one. Don't expect to see Mercury Pencils do anything other than blast that ball as far away from their net as it possibly can be. There's no follow-up there. What a block as well. There's going to be very low boost on the side of the defense. Not around, but there is Deck. Every single time Verbelli think they've got a way through, suddenly another head of the Hydra spawns. And now with 14 seconds remaining, Game 5 could very well be on its way. We didn't see any Game 5s last week in day number 1.
Yeah.
But it definitely seems like we've got ourselves a much closer region. Verbelli, they know their fate. They know what they've got to deal with.
Oh, they get one.
There's one for momentum at the very least.
Yeah, why not? It's got to feel good to at least finally crack the shell. Because like I said, I mean, for 3 minutes, Deck and Vandry didn't do hardly anything.
It was very much the same old story from Mercury Pencils. They went very defensive as soon as they got the lead, especially when they went 2-0 up. The only difference to this story is the defense was solid this time around.
It's very, very true, and I feel like Deck was a contributing factor to that. I feel like in the first couple of games, it was more his teammate Vandre that was making a lot of saves, and playing slightly further back, and Deck was playing a lot quicker. But Deck made some huge saves in that one.
And it is due to his very smooth traversal around the pitch. He was moving around the pitch very well. He's demoing, forcing options out of the offense, and getting a lot of stuff that you don't really get to see credited in the score line. Vandre's here at the top of the scoreboard for his team with 450, but Deck was the big determining factor on defense, I felt like, in that game number 4. And it's just how many options he was able to cover by the defense. Just such great positioning and speed around the pitch. It's tough to get around a player like that.
And very rarely, I mean, we see it from a lot of the goals here. Pretty much every single goal scored is being scored when Verbelli are rotating back to the defense. We're seeing an awful lot in this game of Mercury Pencils being forced to consistently defend on their own goal line. We're never seeing it on the blue side of the field, yet still, we've hit game 5. There are game plans being employed, either intentionally or not, but it is definitely a case of defense versus offense. How well can Verbelli keep that midfield held, or will their one player get beat to a ball and suddenly it opens up?
Well, that's the big credit to Mercury Pencils there in that game number 4. The fact that they were able to hold off that offense for that long, and despite being demoed and boost starved for that long, able to just cruise around their own side of the pitch with 25, 30, maybe 40 boost and just continue to keep them out of the net. It was a very well-played defense. It obviously isn't how you'd like to play the game. I always say fortune favors the offense in Rocket League.
It's a risky way to play the game, isn't it? Because you only have to make that one mistake, and exactly you can concede. But we're into a game 5 now. Very excited about that, to be honest with you, and excited the fact that we got an extra goal at the end of that one. Just love goals. But obviously it's game 5 now. Gentlemen, I want quick predictions here, because it's whoever scores the first goal seems to lose. Do you think that pattern's going to continue here?
Fortune favors the offense. I stick with Verbelli. I think they'll break it.
Oh, I'll have to go the other side, just for the sake of being the contrarian. But Onset is completely right. First goal has always seemed to struggle. That might have actually been
the worst way to score the first one. Yeah.
Sort of hand that one away, and then suddenly it's your game to win.
Now we win, yeah.
That's going to go over the top as well. Okay, don't make it too obvious what you're going for here, but still, Deck. What a goal that was to score.
Oh, it was so pretty. It was so smooth coming off of his own back wall, kept a nice straight line, driving up the center of the field, got a nice lift off that back wall. That's a textbook clear from your back half that turns into an opportunity and a clean conversion. Well played, Deck.
I'll definitely say Deck's main skill that I've been noticing is his ability to recover.
Yeah.
Definitely always seems like he's in a position where he's out of the play, there's nothing else he can do, and then suddenly he's right back in there.
He's brilliant, I agree. Great movement.
Corelli looking for the infield. Too far out. Offers an opportunity for Vandre to move forward and get a hold of a tackle. Everything to play for here. And this is merely the bottom of the mountain that these teams have got to climb.
Yeah, that's the scary part, is this will not be the toughest match for either of these two teams.
Corelli. Just over the top. It's really difficult to create too much here as he tries to pass it back to his own teammates. Shot should not trouble Deck too much as he races for that boost. But Bluton wants to go the entire way. Has Deck got another miracle goal in him? Just
a beautiful catch.
We need to check. Have we got spikes only mode on? It definitely could be a case here. Now Deck has got it past one.
Ooh,
and he won't be able to get it past another one. That was a little bit of a revenge demo or a bump there from Corelli. Now getting the setup. It's a hope. It's a jump. There's no chance of saving that one, though. 1 goal apiece.
I really was questioning whether this one would pay off because of that almost big mishap in the midfield. They almost just ran straight into each other. But Corelli, presence of mind, not trying to do too much, just threw it off the backboard, said, look for Bluton. I know you're good enough to hit a 2-tap off the back wall. Let's get this one home and equalize.
The bread and butter of Rocket League.
The bread and butter. That used to be the corner roll, Shogun. Do you remember back when rolling the ball around the corner was the bread and butter?
Can't wait for the day that triple flip resets the bread and butter of Rocket League.
Oh, man.
We're all going very hungry at that point.
Yeah, Rapid's goal from last week. That's the bread and butter right there. Come out of the corner with a flip reset and into the top of the net. Easy. Sure.
That might be as I'm terrified as you said that out. The Tell you what could be terrifying, this offensive, but using the back of the goal. I love that creativity from Mercury.
Ooh.
Seems like slight amount of pressure on them makes them crumble. You put a lot of pressure on them, though. You put a game 5 in front of them. They're stepping up quite well here, and so are Verbelli.
Much
Ball
more
back out.
equal distribution of pressure. Huge miss.
It's a poor touch, but he's going to be there in time.
Vandrew was facing the wrong way, and Verbluten gave him a little clip as well, just to make sure he couldn't give himself a clean opportunity at that one. So a nice heads-up play to fix the mistake.
It's going to feel so good as well when you get to fix your own mistake.
Yeah. It's like, don't panic, I can fix this, hang on.
There was nothing wrong.
All planned.
Stop screaming at me. Corelli, 0 boost on him. Doesn't pick up the mid boost either. And that's going to be Deck with an opportunity. He's put it up too high. Verbluten didn't take the bait, but he didn't need to. Vandry has put his team 2-1 up. Less than 2 minutes remaining.
Crazy tough choice for Verbluten to make there. Does he go up the back wall and try and catch it? I think you kind of have to, just because if you come off the ground where he chose to go, you're kind of at the mercy of your opposition. There's no way you're going to be able to get up and challenge that one. But a tough play and a well-executed pass. Curly with a fake on the kickoff, a hard cut, and he's going to need some help.
He's got the infield pass option. Couldn't quite get it to execute properly, though. Mercury pencils. 100 seconds away from advancing to the next round. Verbelli, 100 seconds away from going 0-2 in the tournament. You know that they don't want that. You know that they're going to put everything into this final minute and a half of the game.
Oh, double commit.
Bounces back out. Corelli is backwards, though. Can't do too much.
The boost spawn there also very fortunate for Deck. It's going to let them break out of their own half here.
Verbluten going to try and follow here. Touch is not great.
Touch.
Corelli, where is he? Is he the option? No, Verbluten isn't able to get there before being slammed into. And now suddenly the breakaway opportunity.
Gotta put this in.
Deck has got to find the back of the net. He's got to hit the crossbar twice. Not once, 2 times in a row. And now
the cushion is gone. Now it's tension.
Very dangerous. Mercury pencils, if this game gets tied up, they will rue that miss. Ooh, Corelli's touch, not great, but he does become a passing option. It's straight down the middle.
Pass.
And that shot is not on target either.
2 missed opportunities.
Verbelli, not looking great in the final minutes so far. Have got to find a moment of magic.
Nice fake.
Faked out challenge.
Oh, he gave it up.
His touch, basically a pass back down to himself, needs to flick. Doesn't flick it early enough, though.
Oh, poor communication.
They're going to go all the way back.
Time wasted.
Corelli's going to be on low boost as well. They're still going for it. They recognize it's their only opportunity. And for the first time, Mercury pencils challenging the midline. They know how close they are to this victory. Corelli.
Last chance.
Pops up.
That's it.
Vandry will fake out the challenge. Verbelli out and Mercury pencils, they will move on to the next round on set.
Gentlemen, I mean, it shows that the pressure, they didn't take advantage of it, and now they're gone. They're as simple as that. The lower bracket, they're gone. They're out, and it's Mercury pencils who take the win.
My biggest regret is that I will only get to call the lower bracket the caster's bracket one time, and now I won't get to say it anymore because Corelli decided to lose. So thanks, Corelli. Appreciate it.
Don't worry, we still got you here. We'll look after you. But yeah, I mean, you have to say on the pattern of play there, a genuine surprise that they've actually managed to pull off that win, considering that they were under pressure for a good 80% of that series.
I saw Deck pull off this right here, and I just said to myself, why, oh why, did you have to be that good at this moment in time? Because that was definitely following a little bit of the script that seemed to have been in place throughout this series, but at any time to break it, Game 5 is the time to do exactly that.
I agree. They decided, like, look, we know we can't afford to sit here and let these guys come at us. A shot differential much more even, 6-6. And at the end of the day, despite Deck and Vandry not able to put those almost free chances that they had in the later seconds of that game, still able to stick it out, come out on top. And if there's one game that Corelli and Verbluten are really going to be kicking themselves for that they didn't win, it's going to be that game number 4.
Yes, it absolutely is, but I mean, it could have been over a little bit earlier. They've definitely got to try and clean that up and get these shots on target. I feel like we were harping on that quite a bit, but when you see it over and over again, it can definitely be difficult not to.
That's the big thing they need to fix.
On the side of Verbluten and Corelli, though, that last minute, they just didn't respond that well. They
panic, little panic.
They seemed to go for 7 maybe chances rather than creating one great one.
Yeah.
And it didn't work.
It's yeah, you need an equalizer. It's game number 5. You lose this, you're out of this $100,000 tournament. There's a lot on the line, and you don't have time to sit here and really think, okay, this is what we need to do to get this solid chance. Let's just hit the ball. Let's get it past this first guy, and more often than not, that leads to just a clash of ideas, and it sort of crumbled there in that last minute or so.
Yeah, the pressure did tell, but one thing that we do have that is good news to bring to you is obviously 21 goals in that series, and thanks to our friends over at Soylent, that means 210 meals going towards the World Food Program over in North America. Of course, if you guys want to get involved, and we hope that you will as well, head over to wfpusa.org/.
Universal Open.
Yes, it's the first time I've done it to you, and you've absolutely nailed it. But
all
for a fantastic cause, 21 goals in that series. And of course, we always want to hear from you guys at home as well. So use that hashtag. Shogun, it's your go.
UO.
Oh, he wasn't ready. He wasn't ready.
Right behind his head.
UOS2 to get in touch with the guys here or myself, anyone on the desk that you want to give your predictions and thoughts to on the Universal Open presented by Brisk and 7-Eleven. Please get in touch. But gentlemen, our second game of the day is done. We have eliminated our first team. Now we're going to go for a very quick break, but when we get back, of course, we'll have our third game of the evening, so don't go anywhere. This one's going to be a good one.
So you'll be here to help if I need you?
I got you.
What about here?
Yep.
Here?
Yes, Kyle.
And here's Sir Robert from State Farm.
If you invite me.
Go with the one that's here to help life go right. State Farm.
walking through the forest by the lake, searching, trying to find a trace. I'm calling, shouting out your name, calling. Is this really what I think it is? Am I really the one you need? Desperate times running around, chasing each other down. Is this really what I think it is? I'm helpless, and the walls are caving in. Can't breathe now, losing my sanity. I'm calling, shouting out your name, calling. Is this really what I think it is? Am I really the one you need? Desperate times running around, chasing each other down. Is this really what I think it is? Your silhouette out of the corner of my eye, out of the corner of my eye. Your silhouette out of the corner of my eye, out of the corner of my eye. Is this really what I think it is? Am I really the one you need? Desperate times running around, chasing each other down. Is this really what I think it is? Is this really what I think it is? Am I really the one you need? Desperate times running around, chasing each other down. Is this really what I think it is?
Dance all night in the moonlit sky. When the sun comes up, it's our last goodbye. Won't let go, I don't wanna leave paradise. You make everything feel alright. You bring every piece of me to life. When we're looking eyes, I lose my mind, my mind. Amnesia, amnesia.
Guys, to the Universal Open Season 2, of course, presented by Brisk and 7-Eleven. We've just seen a very intense match going down to a Game 5 between Verbelli and Mercury Pencils, and it was Mercury Pencils who pulled out the win there. So with that, of course, we've got to keep you guys up to date, right? We've got to keep you in the know. So let's have a quick Brisk bracket update and see exactly what is going on at the moment as far as the bracket concerned. We've had a lot of games going on at the moment, so we want to keep an eye on those and see exactly what's going on. You can see here, lots of games being played out now. You can see everyone moving into the following rounds. Now we're going to have Word versus Oxygen, which will be our next game here on broadcast. Then we have Hot Cat E-Games going on up against Phenomenal EXP, Flyquest taking on Speedy Sloths, Ghost Station taking on First in Flight. All of those, of course, upper bracket games. And then you can see at the bottom there your teams who have fallen into our lower bracket. Welcome back, gentlemen. Have a nice break? Have a nice few minutes there, was it?
Yes.
Nice?
Capital break.
Good, excellent. Well, I hope you're pumped for this one because I'm excited here because I want to see these Word guys play.
Yeah, it's Fireburner and Torment. They've played together before, actually, believe it or not, despite being part of two totally different teams. They played together at DreamHack Leipzig when Justin couldn't make it for NRG, and Torment was like, yeah, I'll play with NRG, why not? And they did really well.
Yeah.
They didn't end up winning, but
arguably should have gone further. I mean, the match they lost, they sort of underperformed in. But this is sort of a reoccurring theme here that we're seeing where because we are region locked for this tournament, there's a lot of teams that just go, okay, I'm just going to go with this guy. And we're now seeing these dream teams coming out from North American rivals.
Yeah, G2 and JNAPS is G2 and JNAPS. JNAPS and Garrett G is a cool one to see. And so yeah, now we get to see another one, Fireburner and Torment. There's more in this one as well. There's Lethamir and Memory. They're together as well over on Ghost Station. So
hoping to do better than Space Station did. Space Station get through?
Space Station did not get through. They lost to Upper 90,
so looking to do
and
better.
They lost to Splice.
Looking to do better than the rest of his team did.
Yeah.
Now, what can we say about the guys on the other side of this conversation? Of course, they're gonna have their work cut out. Let's be honest. You know, it's gonna be tough for them.
Here's what you can say.
We're not gonna pulley punches here. There's gonna be a tough one.
Here's what you can say to Oxygen. Good luck, and that's about it.
Good luck. Best of luck, gentlemen.
Good luck. Play your game. Please play your game. Don't go into this one. Don't get intimidated by the name factor, because if you do that, at least let us come out of this and be able to analyze you guys as, you know, the proper players that we know that you are, compared to sort of going in there and just sort of rolling over.
It's Fireburner and Torment. What do we do?
It's one of those opportunities again, isn't it? There's two ways you can look at it as a player. You can see it as you know, we've had a great tournament so far.
Time to go to the losers bracket.
Before the countdown has even finished and you're into game number 1, you know, we're really happy with what we achieved. Or you can say, this is a huge opportunity for us. This is a chance here on broadcast in front of thousands of people to take on some of the best in the world. Let's go. That's what I'd be saying right now.
Even a game is a huge victory for them going into this match. I mean,
it'd be huge.
For those of you that aren't as familiar with the scene, that is how big we are sort of hyping up this Word team to be. A victory is a huge, huge goal for them. So I want to see them go for it. If they can take more than that, absolutely perfect. Let us start getting hyped for it like it's a real series. But right now, I want to see that one-game win.
It's one of those things as well. You know, you do something against these type of players, it helps you create your name. We've talked about it before. We've seen it in previous last week as well. You perform well against these type of players. These are the best in the world. Some of the best in the world you're going up against. If you can pull off what you want to pull off, if you can create the plays that you want to, you know, pull off as well, all of a sudden your stock rises.
You draw some eyes.
And that's exactly, and that's so difficult to do. And the fact you get to do it on broadcast as well, and there's probably a little bit more pressure on it when you're sat in your room and you're thinking, there's a lot of people watching me right now, and you know it's difficult to perform to the best of your ability sometimes.
That's the best part about online,
some people might love that. Some people might grow into that.
It's also more the fact that you're in the comfort of your own home.
Oh yeah,
it's just
yeah,
like, oh man, it sucks playing on something. What's up?
If I'd be playing on this one, I'd be looking at this going, this is my best learning opportunity. I'm going to get in so long, because there's obviously, like, for a lot of people they play, it can be difficult to see what's happening game to game, especially when you're playing people very similar. But if you go into this game, you're just going, well, I'm getting beat to everything. I am not even close to this.
Oh, I'm slow.
You have your own opportunity to just press the save replay folder, and you can see yourself go into the opinion, like the POV of some of these players, just go, okay, he can see me coming a mile off. Why don't I change this and this?
And that's one of those things that, you know, we heard from Karma in the interview last week. It's something that she's, you know, renowned for, is going back, watching those replays, learning from it, because it is such a huge tool that you have available to you. And like you're saying, perfect opportunity to do it, because you can't just watch what you're doing right and wrong. You could definitely see what the players on the other team are doing right.
These are like free scrims.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah.
Like,
how often do you get to just be
often?
like, I'm going to go play against Fireburner and Torment. I'm just going to do that. That doesn't happen for a lot of people.
So we know roughly what we expect from this series. However, like I said, huge opportunity. Do not let this one slip through your fingers, because if you go into this one sort of saying, it's done, we'll have ourselves a lower bracket run. Sure. Well done. Okay.
It's
At least you were here.
It's another thing you mentioned there. Obviously, you know, the loser of this game does fall into our lower bracket. You know, you don't want to be going into a lower bracket, having to play a game almost immediately straight afterwards, thinking, oh, that was tough. You know, we've just been absolutely, you know, put to the sword a little bit there. You want to come out of that with something, you know, with a little bit of confidence, something to talk about to go into that game going, okay, we just had a big test.
We lost, but we played well.
Yeah, exactly. You want to have that mentality where you're going in and saying, okay, we've just played well against these guys. Our next game...
Easy.
Exactly.
Cake.
Yes. Easy. Give me that next game right now. Bring it on. You don't want to be sitting there going, oh, we've got to play another game. Because that's difficult mentality.
Luckily for them, we don't have any more lower bracket matches to play today. Those will come up tomorrow. So at the very least, they will have a chance to bounce back. But you do bring up a phenomenal point there of, if I go into a match, and let's say I'm playing a 1v1, and I play a 1v1 against... Yeah, I've already proven that I'm absolutely atrocious at ones. But let's just say I go into a 1v1 and I played Scrub Killer. And I somehow lost 5-6 to Scrub Killer.
Wow. Good game.
Yeah, it was a fantastic... I don't know how it happened, but let's just say it happened. I'd go into my next game and just go, who are you?
You're not Scrub Killer. I'm
You're
going
not
to
Scrub
crush
Killer.
you.
And I barely lost to Scrub Killer. So let's just go and smash this other guy. It's that same sort of mentality of they could just go and just say, well, you know, it was close. Let's go and smash this other team.
Yeah.
And that's certainly what they're going to try and do.
Well, here we go then. As you can see on your screens, the game is underway, and a team I'm very excited about seeing, of course, Word, are going to be taking on Oxygen in our upper bracket.
We're starting off early. Fireburner.
Fireburner is just...
He is shortened to his name to just about as short as he wants to see this series go.
That's clever. I like that.
It's Fireburner.
He's in the Dominus, too.
He is.
A man after my own heart, and it does not work out.
Well, maybe he needs to switch back nice and quickly. The length of the Dominus not quite working out in this situation. It's a small shot, it's a slow shot. But as we have already established this broadcast, probably the most lethal shot of them all.
Yeah, the changeup is, it's so brutal. You can't possibly understand.
It's asking who's the pre-jumper in this situation. Did you
Are
pre-jump?
you scared of me or not?
Yeah.
That's the big thing. It's like, without actually playing Rocket League, you will never understand why that shot is so difficult to defend. That's the crazy part. It's like, you're like, that was so easy to save. And it's like,
it's the shot that's typical at low levels suddenly becomes the most lethal thing ever.
It's like, I remember doing that shot when I had 4 hours in the game.
Now I'm doing it with 4,000. And I'm doing it intentionally. New intent. Intent is currently to try and find that second goal. Big demo as well. Fireburner left by himself.
This also will be kind of fun to get to see Torment play in a 2v2 environment. I don't think we've seen Torment play a 2v2 and a quick shot to the lower right-hand corner saved by Obros, but Torment in the 3v3 realm of the Cloud9 system really plays a lot of defense, sits there and holds that midfield line, makes a lot of saves for him, so it'd be good to see him flex the offensive muscles here a bit.
There's a lot of players out there in North America as well that sort of talk about Torment as if he's like one of their dream teammates, sort of someone that unleashes you to do whatever you want. But in this game,
let's go ball chase. We got Torment.
He's going to have to do a lot more for his team. Fireburner by himself sets it up for Torment. Right down the middle. 1 goal apiece.
It's a good one to get back as well. Pretty textbook push down the side of the field. Obro's just trying to force an option out of Fireburner. Unfortunately, a little bit late to that first challenge and gives him a little too much space. And good presence of mind from Fireburner as well there to not flip out towards the corner and just make it as easy a shot as possible for Fireburner, or Torment, excuse me. I know I've saved my teammate shots a few times just trying to flip out of the front of that.
Now Fireburner back to the corner. Torment can take this over. This is that whip that we've talked about previously. Get that ball into a position that is so difficult to go and challenge. And that is something that Fireburner and Torment are going to be able to do incredibly well. Very close together as well. Oxygen might get caught out for that.
Big problem of Verbelli in their series as well. On their defensive rotations, really cramping each other in a lot, but they can't quite stop that one. Torment gets above the play and slams it right back down.
This is definitely going to be our series to be able to show why exactly it's not exactly the best of ideas. Just caused a world of hurt for Oxygen. Now Word 2 goals to 1 up.
But also that being said, I mean, Oxygen aren't being smashed by any means. And that's kind of what we talked about before it starts. This is not the
but they're going for it, and I like that they're going for it.
Yeah. It's like when we saw Garrett G and JNaps play last week, it was watch us do whatever the heck we want and score a goal. This is Torment and Fireburner having to do a little bit of work here.
This is genuinely, I mean, Fireburner showing off some of those legendary 50-50s of his. but there's a very easy way to tell if a name value has got to someone, and that is, do they fake the challenge? Do they move forward and then move back pretty much instantly whilst trying to get you to move?
Oh,
they all try and do it, and it never works. As Word able to put themselves up to a 2-goal cushion.
Yeah, not much to say here. Torment with a great challenge there to force an awkward defensive scenario, but Obros needs to nail that clear every time. Fireburner, opportunity, and he'll take it.
Torment off the kickoff. Electing to go for boost to start us off here. And speaking of Fireburner's challenges and his ability to win them as often as he does, it's going to be even more prevalent in this game mode of all game modes. If he can set himself up well,
can really get some quick breakaways or make some big stops in the midfield line, that's for sure.
Now, there's definitely been some arguments made recently about Fireburner. Maybe not, you know, maybe it was a Season 3 thing, but this is going to be a big opportunity to try and prove, nah, it's not. He's always been the king of that situation. Back down. Good challenge. Follow-up touch and
clean.
Too Fast sets up for the second goal.
Pretty clean here from Too Fast. This is a really well executed play from Obros. A nice dish up to Too Fast, and maybe Torment and Fireburner saying, oh, okay, didn't quite see that one coming. Well played. You tip your cap as Fireburner and Torment there. You say, nice one, okay.
Yeah, was playing very aggressively there on the rotation, especially having them move forward that quickly. There's sort of an assumption that they were going to win the challenge. Now we've got ourselves down to a 1-goal game. Torment managed to win the challenge, but it's now Too Fast. Riding that wave of momentum he just got from scoring.
Stole the boost, though.
Oh, it was a corker of a shot. Set up for the shot as well. 3 goals apiece.
And this is actually all set up by this boost steal in the corner there by Too Fast. He takes it away from Fireburner, makes it a slow rotate, and Fireburner's just trapped in the corner. He doesn't have the boost to get back on the net. He can't do anything about it. And it's just one heads-up play. Obros made the decision, I'm going to leave this ball, steal the boost, make it as hard for them to push up the field as possible. And he let his teammate make a great challenge on the ball, and they were able to convert it. Unfortunately, the kickoff going to go the other way, and they get it right back. It hurts.
What a punch to the gut that is. You make a 2-goal comeback, you're feeling so great about yourself, and then Torment just does that to you.
Crushing. Well, not crushing, but disappointing.
Still got themselves a minute.
Disappointing.
They need to do better from the kickoffs. Definitely does seem like the majority of the challenges are going on the side of Word. Clear. One ready to pass to. Obros. Straight back over to Too Fast. Going to come straight back to Obros. Fireburner allows the shot. He recognizes it's going to go too high. Now sets himself up for a good challenge. Once again.
Good chance here.
They're starting to build towards something, but Torment, especially with a ball rolling towards him like that, will happily see that one away. Straight back over to the middle. Is cleared. Looking for the wall play, but Obros didn't quite read that one properly. Still, good offensive chance, but Torment is already on the goal line. It's that dangerous part of the very methodical way that Word are playing. They're just sending one person out there to try and challenge, and the other person is being held strictly on the goal line.
It's also a couple of really great challenges from Oxygen to give himself a couple of chances here on the blue side, but clean defense in the final 4 seconds. Last opportunity here for Too Fast on the cut. Bounce dribble, Torment. Defense to the test and drops it down in front. Fireburner won't convert, but game 1 over to Word, and I actually quite enjoyed that game 1, Shogun. I really enjoyed it.
I was definitely a fan of the fact that they were going for the challenges. They were seeing a couple of gaps being opened up, especially from, I mean, Word were challenging some weird and wacky angles at times, almost side-on to the ball being played. But that is exactly what I wanted to see from them.
Well, that's going to give them confidence. That's the one thing we wanted to talk about, wasn't it? Coming into this game, they need to come out of that game number 1 with a little bit of confidence, with a little bit of belief, and getting that first goal. That was huge for them, I think. Just, you know, as far as not only that game is concerned, but the series is concerned. Because when you get that first goal, you feel we can score on these guys. You know, we can do the most important thing we have to do, of course, to win a game, and that is score. But unfortunately, just couldn't close out the game.
It's a mindset thing at times, especially when you take on higher level players where you think, wow, he's got all the boost, he's somehow faster than me to everything. No, Rocket League is the fairest esport we've got out there.
It is the most balanced.
You are all on the same playing field. You've just got to outplay them.
I think it's someone once said to me about a game where you're going up against a bigger opponent, a bigger name than you are, is that he's still playing on a controller. He's still using a PC. You know, it's not. There's nothing different. It's just a different. You know, everyone's playing the same game, and you have to kind of recognize that because, like you mentioned, we might sound like we're kind of overstating this a little bit, but it is such a huge thing because you go up against a big name.
It's best of the world.
Exactly. You change the way you play, but the best players in the world don't change the way they play against other
say,
players.
look, if you're gonna beat me, you gotta beat me.
Exactly. If you beat me, straight up, fair enough. You know, if you're better than me, fair enough. But I'm still gonna do my thing, and I think we saw that in that game number 1.
Now, I want to see them keep those challenges going. I do, however, want to see them... I don't know, we're not seeing much of an air game from either side so far. Both have seemed happy to continue carrying the ball.
And
I would like to see some width, especially because we've seen some clears. And I do like the clearing angles so far. They are definitely aiming for the walls. But that second player... It's been happening with both of them so far, where the second player is just not on the wall waiting for the pass to come over, and that kills the momentum of the attempted clear and maybe stifles the counterattack.
Well, I think that if the game continues to stick to the ground, that obviously it's going to favor Word, but that plays much more into what Oxygen want to happen, I think, because I think once you see this game start moving into the air, then you're really going to see the gap between these teams come out. Because Fireburner and Torment, I mean... We already know they're the best in the world. They've got very quick reads to balls. They will be very, very quick to things out of the air, and that's going to be where you see the difference. But game number 2 going to start off exactly the same as game number 1.
Well, Obro has managed to do his own Torment impression there. Last game, Torment went for the kickoff, then managed to beat the second player. This time around, Obros is the player to return the favor.
Yeah.
And Onset was talking about the confidence gained by the early goal.
It's
That's
great.
the exact same thing again.
And game number 1 was pretty even statistically. Both teams had 9 shots. There was a difference of 1 save between them and a difference of 1 assist. I mean, it was about as even a game number 1 as you could hope. And I think if Oxygen are able to keep this game stuck to the ground, I mean, they might stand a pretty good chance. And fortunately, you can't miss touches off the back wall like that. Torment turns it in.
Yeah, but this is the bait shot once again. We saw it during the last series. It happens once again this time around. Too fast. He tried to get up. He tried to clear the danger before it was even really there, but once you go up there and don't touch the ball, you are nothing more than leaving.
Wah, wah.
Yeah, pretty much exactly that. Too fast. Mistouch there again. Struggling just for a momentary second or two, but Obro's happy to try and help him out. See more bumping plays coming through, but the boost is stolen. Fireburner. Not really get anything going there, but the pace of this transition so slow. They might still get something out, but Fireburner able to turn himself around. Now Torment layers up the shot.
Nice demo.
That takes away the counter-attacking opportunity. You can see Too Fast all the way back.
Fake it.
Gonna go the entire length off the post. And Torment. It was a great pass. It was always intended to be a pass from Fireburner.
Obviously. Wasn't aiming for that lower right-hand corner at all.
Not for a single second.
Disappointing a little bit from Fireburner, but, you know. The first thing in the air, though, well, not the first. That's maybe the second one in this game. But, again, it's just that slight mechanical edge that these players might have. The reads to the ball is going to be a little bit faster and give themselves a nice lead.
Far side, Torment versus Too Fast. Too Fast backing out of the challenge and instead comes for the second one. You can see Word becoming very direct, actually, with the way they're approaching. Happy just to keep slamming balls towards this orange side of the field, waiting for a mistake from Oxygen. Or waiting for just a clean shot on target. Not really too much in the way of creativity or fanciness, but it is working so far.
Oh, man.
There's another challenge win, and you know what?
Man.
I take all my words back. Maybe the air is not the best place to be.
The air is definitely not the place to be. I saw Obros drive that up the wall, and I was like, you have no idea. Torment is just sitting there in the midfield saying, do it. Please hit that ball into the midfield. That is exactly what happened. He just stole it from him and said, here you go, Fireburner.
Now Word trying to stretch out this lead a little bit. The last game was pretty close. Oxygen able to make a comeback from a position very similar to this one as well. However, they want to make a comeback this time around. They've got a lot of work to do. Word are really starting to understand the two's positioning.
Yeah, just a great recovery there from Torment. Fires a quick one into the net just to see if they make a mistake, and the clear is not optimal. And Torment, you know, there's a reason he's pretty good. He doesn't get to take a lot of shots in the 3v3 arena, but he still knows how to put the ball in the back of the net.
Oh no, definitely. Torment, just because that is his playstyle does not mean that he is lacking in other areas of the pitch.
Yeah,
It's very much down to preference.
He's brilliant.
Too fast.
Torment might actually be one of my favorite North American players now that I think about it.
He's definitely one of the most adaptable players
Yeah.
that we've got out there.
Like it's not quite the way Violent Panda plays, but it's a similar, you know, role he plays for that team.
Violent Panda is, like, I think sort of mastered the playstyle that Torment is going for, where he can be that little bit more aggressive without overdoing it. But Obros, you can see the camera trying to pan over to him. There is no Obros left on the field because he just spent everything to achieve this.
And this was a two-man effort to get this one in the back of the net. Obros slowing that dribble down just a little bit, got out on top of the car, made it that bouncing dribble that's so dangerous, and Too Fast drives in front of him, says, Fireburner, what are you going to do? Made him make that decision. That's a well-executed 2-on-1 situation from Oxygen. That's a well-deserved goal.
Torment has done so much straight from the kickoff. Fireburner can't quite turn the ball into the back of the net. Now Obros going to see if he can recreate his own magic from just a few seconds ago. Torment taking over. Flicks over. One-on-one, but there was actually no commitment out from Obros. Able to recover just in time to take the ball away. There's that shot. It's hit the ceiling. It's going straight in.
That feels so bad.
It's so bad, but if you look at this from Torment's point of view, there is no bad side to what he's about to go for. I mean, it hits the ceiling and starts going straight down. Or let's just say he mistouches it a little bit. It's going to hit potentially that arc at the top of the ceiling and just drop straight back in to a very good shooting position anyway.
Even if they don't score it, it's like there's no way for Oxygen to take advantage of it and turn it into a scoring chance. It feels bad if you're Oxygen, though, because you're like, disappointed.
It's that annoying thing where these level of players can shoot from almost anywhere. They can definitely shoot from 6 yards out.
You'd hope so. Nice pass from Fireburner out to Torment in the midfield. Another missed touch off that back wall. A bit of a weak defensive game 2 for Obros and Too Fast. And again, game 2 is definitely favored much more play out of the air. And it's kind of exactly like I thought it would. It's favored Torment and Fireburner all the way.
Yeah, they've got beat to a couple of the plays towards the very beginning of this game, and now suddenly Oxygen don't want to see anything in the air, and that just opens up words to go for the passing plays, go infield. Something that you know Torment is more experienced than anybody else to do, but Fireburner levers that one up high, passing it straight over. Take number 2 for Fireburner. Levers that one up high. Torment, let him go again.
No boost. Torment didn't have the boost to put it home.
Crossbar challenge coming out from Fireburner, and he definitely seems like he's nailing it at the very least. Now back down. 1 minute remaining. Fireburner gonna force the challenge. That is why he is the king of 50-50s.
Yeah, you want to talk about positioning, getting the center of mass behind the ball, gets around to the opposite side. Like,
as soon as you turn sideways, you've given up that ball.
There's no chance. It's just it's a big block of metal, and there's no way you're getting it through that guy. Positioned so brilliantly on the opposite edge of that ball. It's like, even if he misses, it's going to ricochet off the post and go out to his teammate.
Now back over. Definitely seems like Word have found their pace this game. Potentially being forced to kick up their level of gameplay a little bit by an Oxygen side that, you know, they came to play. Maybe just start. I mean, I don't see this right now as a lack of conviction. Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
Go in, yes.
Fireburner, he skies one shot, and he's nailed the other one, both at the same time.
It says, Torment, go away, this is my double touch.
He recovered from that.
I know, that's the best part. That's why I like it so much. He says, Torment, why are you even wasting your time? I'm in the Dominus that hits the ball really hard.
It's because he hit the crossbar twice earlier. He's not letting that one go. There is the problem. When that kickoff just goes straight behind you, it's almost impossible to get back over to. I want to revisit the point I was trying to make earlier on. It doesn't seem like Oxygen have at any point decided to really stifle their own creativity or their own pace. They're just finding different areas in their game now that they just aren't as fast at.
Precisely. And to their credit, Torment and Fireburner have done an excellent job of really moving the game much more towards that. You see Torment there driving it up the wall. Obros and Too Fast, they haven't figured out how to get this ball off of the wall and onto the ground, because I think they might be a little bit afraid of trying to take that challenge. I think they think that if they try and take these balls off the ground quickly, Torment and Fireburner are just going to come and challenge them almost immediately. But even in that last instance right there with Fireburner creeping in the midfield, he says, look, I'll let you do what you want. because that's kind of a lot of professional Rocket League player strategies when they play against people who aren't other pros. It's just saying, look, I'll let you do what you want, because odds are you make a mistake. And I just realized I'm not wearing my jacket.
This is for the first time. Ladies and gentlemen, this is achieved.
Here it is.
That
Achieves unlocked is what we'll call that.
You
for the
saw
first
nothing.
time ever, Achieves is underdressed on a broadcast.
Unbelievable.
Feels bad, man.
I mean,
The illusion is shattered now.
The illusion is very much shattered, and you know, unfortunately for the guys on Oxygen, I think their dreams might have just been shattered in that game because
Rough game too.
Yeah, a rough one is a polite way of saying it, but we really did see Word just start to flex their muscles a little bit in that second game.
Yeah.
We're finding different areas now where Oxygen just sort of struggle that tiny bit more. I do want to see them use the walls actually a little bit more than they currently are, especially that last passing play towards the very end of the game sort of told a lot to me, where they're failing to really think a couple of steps ahead. They're waiting to see what happens around them, and then they're reacting. That is the difference right now between these two teams. Word already know what's going to happen. They're thinking 2 steps ahead. They're already reacting 2 steps ahead, whilst that passing play was happening and they didn't really move until the ball was already being played. I would like to see them start to figure it out, maybe figure out, all right, what is actually Torment and Fireburner's options? And then once you zero down on what the most likely one is going to be, then you get over to that one.
You at least have a game plan.
Option.
You do have a game plan at that point. And I think I'm still on the other side of the spectrum, though. I think I would like Oxygen to really try and limit airplay.
I don't think they've got the option anymore.
I don't think they have that option either, and it's up to them to try and control the pace of play. But if they are able to get back to that game one,
if all else fails, hit the ball
really hard.
Really hard. Onset's getting there. He's going to be up the ranks anytime now.
No problem whatsoever. Hit the ball really hard. But I mean, I wonder if maybe that we will go back to that game number 1. That was such a close one, and we talked about they really could gain some momentum out of that. Maybe they took their foot off the gas a little bit there. Because it's one of those things where, your opponent scored, but you maybe a little bit of overconfidence from going into the game 2.
That was a good game 1. Let's go into game 2.
Easy. And then you're like,
still remain grounded in reality.
It's like reality has to hit at some point.
So what we've actually learned is that the option I was giving earlier on, where you go against someone really good, and you think so much about yourself, is actually incorrect. You think too much of yourself, and you're still at the same skill level, and you go against someone maybe closer to you, and you start to struggle.
I'm just saying, there's 2 sides to every coin, Shogun. But Word are only 1 game away from taking this series now. So, gentlemen, over to you once more.
Well, it is going to be Oxygen's final opportunity to try and figure this one out. They want to try and make this game at least a little bit closer than the last one was. Word definitely running away with it, but every single game we've had so far has started with Oxygen scoring.
It has, hasn't it?
So they're going to look to try and keep that going at the very least. Obros trying to find a way out.
Here's a good chance. They need to keep
that's
this
a poor
one.
touch. Seen Torment, he's kept himself up in the air. Trying for the flip reset. I've never seen so much work for so little yards.
Yeah. It's like he's doing his best Squishy Muffins impression, then he just mistimed it.
Straight back down, too fast. He's out of here for the time being, as Torment now back over to the corner. 0 goal starting minute.
Just kind of looking at this game number 3, I don't think Obros and Too Fast are too shook up by that game 2. They're still fairly aggressive to challenges. They're giving a little space if needed. They realize what they have to do. I don't think they're too rattled by there's no other word for it. The absolute destruction that was that game 2.
We're going for the infield pass. Almost worked out as well, but we saw a good example of what I was just talking about a second ago. Being able to predict what's coming. You can see someone going wide. They were going to try and cut you with a challenge, or cut you with a dribble, or they've got an infield passing option.
The game has moved a bit more vertical, and they will give this one up. Here's where it's dangerous. They got to figure out a way to stop this one.
Someone all the way back. That touch from Obros needed to be much more on the bumper and much less skied.
Won the challenge, though. Big chance here versus Torment.
He's got to take it quick, though, because Fireburner's looking to get back. He's managed to take his opportunity, but there is Fireburner. Tries to tap it in.
Oh, no.
Was that original shot on target?
I'm not sure. I was on auto cam. I don't know.
We'll just say for the sake that it wasn't.
I don't blame Obros for trying to turn that one in, because, he might not be fully aware of exactly where Fireburner is, and he just wants to make sure it gets home, but ends up saving it either way.
Too fast. Back down. There's Fireburner, wins the challenge. I think Fireburner actually might have moved away from the ball more than the ball moved away from Fireburner.
Oh, this is it. Oh, huge save from Fireburner. Massive demo on the way back. And
Pass
Obro's
all the way back.
great touch. I like the idea.
Might be predicting a little bit about where.
Yeah, I think it comes down far more to timing than predicting there. It's more about.
It looked like he was aiming for the left-hand side more than he was aiming for the right.
Yeah, but I mean, either way, it was in the net, and it's far more about how quickly it makes it back to your own side at that point.
Well, it is still nothing each. 2 minutes remaining.
A lot of space here for Too Fast.
A lot of space, but he might be able to follow this as well. Fireburner choosing not to do too much around here. The touch from him is not great, but it seemed like he was just trying to bait out Torment.
Stranger was no challenge there from Oxygen out of the midfield as they tried to clear that ball, and now the pressure's on their half.
Pass out. Miss there from Obros. Torment will be by himself for just the time being, and...
Whoa, what? Hang on a minute. Did Torment...
out. Torment...
Did he blunder?
Cracked.
Did he torment? Did he torment? Did he blunder or did he get clipped?
He blundered. He definitely blundered.
Yeah, that's an own goal. That's an own goal all the way. All right, feels bad, but if you're Obros, you take it.
If you're Obros, you definitely take it. We said one game was the target. One goal. They are way beyond that at this point in time.
They've made 6
Well,
so
they're
far.
90 seconds away from potentially taking a win. And you know what? If they were to turn around to their friends and say, hey, we took a win from Fireburner and Torment. How did you do it?
Yeah. all their friends go, yeah, off an own goal.
Back down. Need to try and soak up this pressure.
But the best part is you get to turn around and look at them and be like, I don't see you beating them with an own goal.
Well, there's a demo as well. Fireburner can't turn himself around in time. 1 minute left on the clock.
Nice challenge there. Bought a lot of time for his teammate.
He's going to come back out. Torment.
Oh, soft
it's the
touch.
lightest of touches.
Ugh.
The man who conceded the goal turns the man to get it straight back.
Oh, that's
That's disgusting.
The change-up again. It comes back. That's the hat trick for the change-up today, Shogun.
That one was just filthy.
It really is. There's no way to stop it either. It's just like he's going to rifle this one at the net. You got to go dive at it.
That's that level of respect as well you give to those players. Just saying, he's always going to hit this.
Yeah.
Torment off the backboard. Fireburner shot on target.
Breakaway chance.
And Torment's already got himself turned around. Such a quick recovery from him. Able to take part in 2 different waves of offense before he was out of 100 boost.
Oh, breakaway.
Got to get there in time, but Torment goes full Mr. Plow mode.
Mr. Plow. Clipped the wheels. Swept him out. The leg sweep, and it goes the other way. Torment to Fireburner in the midfield. The Dominus just going to crush that one down the pitch and into the net.
Booming the shot in from the midway. Oxygen just tried to put everything into trying to get that one last goal. They saw the timer. They knew that any goal could potentially have taken this game from them, but now they find themselves a goal behind and the potential being knocked down into the lower bracket.
Curious to see what approach they take here in the final 20 seconds. Do they go really aggressive?
Go for it.
Oh, there's a pre-jump from
Go for
Obros,
it.
yeah.
And it definitely worked out for Fireburner this time around. He seems to be 1, 2, maybe even 5 steps ahead of that one. It's a simple tap in. Oxygen, they will be going down.
I loved how you said go.
Nothing.
I loved how you said go for it, and the camera swiveled around Torment. I saw Obros coming off the ceiling for the greatest free jump in the universe. It's like if that would have hit, I would have just taken the headset off and left the room. It would have been just stupid.
Gotta say, at this point, I'm glad he didn't hit it. I need you here at Chiefs. Gonna drop that one straight back down. Oxygen, they are down to the lower bracket.
That was actually a great series, though.
You know what? I hold hope for them that maybe they can make a run.
I'm curious what day 2 holds for them, to say the least.
Yeah, I think if they bring out that level of performance on day 2, they should, make a decent run in that lower bracket. It's all about maybe just tightening up a little bit towards the end there, and who knows? Who knows? They could well squeak through.
It's a little bit weird because obviously the game style there was very different to how they would play against any other team, mostly because you're being forced into defensive. They weren't choosing to be defensive. They were forced to be defensive. So maybe if it's a bit more open game, we'll be able to see how they are with some of their goal shooting, because a lot of the goals they scored actually weren't really that defended. They very rarely had a goalkeeper around. Instead, it was midfield challenge wins. So it could be curious. They're going to take on very different styles of teams in the future. But good goal. Good goal that they picked up in that final game.
Well done, Torm. I mean, Obros.
Yes, Obros with the credits. Such a positive game we have here. No own goals.
That's just thing, it's no goal, is it? No, that's just thing. It's just a
That is actually something I don't.
carefully constructed opportunity that didn't quite work out the way you wanted it to. There's an acronym in there somewhere.
We'll go workshop that one after the broadcast today
Which-
and be like, it's the C.
I don't think it's worth us
CCO.
trying to go back down that path, to be honest with you. It's far too long. But one thing we can give you is a brisk bracket update. So let's do exactly that. We've just seen another 3-0 today, and we're going to see how that affects everything. You can see there, Word moving in just one game away for those gentlemen before they have qualified for the regionals. And then you can see that lower bracket filling up there. You got Oxygen will fall to play against Mercury Pencils, a team who we did see today as well. So that's an interesting potential matchup we have to come, gentlemen, as well.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing that one tomorrow. Remind me to make a note of that. Just be like, I want to see both of those teams play tomorrow.
I think I would put them pretty close to roughly the same. I would actually maybe give the Oxygen
Edge to Oxygen, yeah.
an advantage there, but I could see a couple of games being swung either way on that one. But Word doing exactly what we expect them to do there. But again, I mentioned this last week. I was very curious to see the playstyles that we saw come out. I don't think that's them playing at full speed, but from what we've managed to glean from that, much less fancy from them. They are very much a case of, we are going to just keep on attacking you, and eventually you will break.
Yeah.
Well, good news is we did have a lot of goals in that series, particularly that game number 2. I believe it finished 9-2, that game number 2. We had 22 in total. So thanks to our fantastic friends over at Soylent. That means 220 meals will be going towards the fight against world hunger. Thanks to the guys at Soylent. Like I mentioned, if you want to get involved, as always, head over to wfpusa.org/Universal Open. A fantastic cause, and we're very glad to have Soylent on board and helping out with such a fantastic thing. So, I mean, I just wanted to very quickly, before we go out for our next game, is how do you feel those guys that we just seen there in Word match up against, NRG2 that we saw in day one? Just very, very quickly.
I think I give the edge to NRG2
Yeah,
just
same.
because the pressure aspect of it. There's a bit more mechanical brilliance, and overall, I mean, mechanical brilliance nets you more opportunities for quality chances on net. So I think I'd give the edge to them, but it'd be a good series to say the least.
That's an interesting one. I want you to say that so the NLG2 guys can hear that and they can up their game next time. But anyway, let's move on a little bit. Let's obviously involve you guys. We always want you guys to get involved. Give us your thoughts on that particular subject as well. Use the hashtag UOS2 to get involved, and let us guys on the desk know your feelings. Who you're thinking of the favourites you've seen so far from week 1 and week 2. Who do you think could make it through to those grand finals? But that's going to do it all, gentlemen. Again, thank you so much for your fantastic commentary on that game number 3. When we get back, we will have our final game of the day, however, so don't go anywhere. Game number 4, the final game of the day, is about to come your way.
Yes, yes.
So, State Farm will be here to help protect our home.
Of course.
What about here?
Yep.
Here? Mm-hmm. Here?
Feels a little awkward.
Go with the one that's here to help life go right. State Farm.
this really what I think it is? Am I really the one? Desperate times running around, chasing each other down. Is this really what I think it is?
Helpless, and the walls are caving in. Can breathe now, losing my sanity. I'm calling, shouting out your name. I'm calling. Is this really what I think it is? Am I really the one we need? Desperate times running around, chasing each other down. Is this really what I think it is? Your silhouette out of the corner of my eye. Out of the corner of my eye. Your silhouette out of the corner of my eye. Out of the corner of my eye. Is this really what I think it is? Am I really the one you need? Desperate times running around, chasing each other down. Is this really what I think it is? Is this really what I think it is? Am I really the one you need? Desperate times running around, chasing each other down. Is this really what I think it is?
Season 2 of the Universal Open. In case you didn't just hear that, welcome back. I welcomed you back to Season 2 of the Universal Open, presented by Brisk and 7-Eleven. Now, we've just had another game. We've seen one of our favourites move on in convincing fashion in Word. They moved on in a 3-0 fashion, exactly what we were expecting from those guys. But now we have our final upper bracket game and our final game of the day, gentlemen. It's going to be Ghost taking on First in Flight. Now, two teams we haven't seen so far. What can you tell us about these two?
So, Coleman A has been around the scene since time immemorial, it feels like.
Since the beginning, basically.
I don't know much about his teammate Zadop, but Coleman was back around Season 1, preseason, maybe Season 2 of RLCS even.
Yeah.
He was a sub for an RLCS
Yeah,
team for a little bit.
he had one appearance that entire time. Literally only used so Gibbs can make really bad stats for us to try and figure out. He always includes subs in the stats.
Yeah, I remember that.
Throws us off all the time.
Yeah, the trivia, I do remember that. So shame on you, Gibbs, if you're watching. But
we don't need context to say that.
It's the real Shogun coming back towards the end of the show.
But
the veneers started to peel, sorry.
but Coleman's a pretty great player. I don't know how well he'll stack up to Lethamyr and Memory, obviously, over on Ghost Station. Don't know much about Zadop, but Lethamyr and Memory, not too much introduction they really need. Again, some of the best people in the world right here.
Okay, so very talented performers about to be on show here. Obviously 2v2, slightly different to 3v3, as we've seen already. Can be a little bit of an adjustment, even for some of the best players in the world. Are you expecting this series to be much like we saw in the last one? Sort of.
I think this will be fairly similar if you watch Week 1. It'll be NRG2 versus Weast, which was... Dingle Bell. That's who I'm thinking. It was Derek and Bell. And Coleman and Zadop, I think, are kind of the same level as Derek and Bell, and I think Lethamyr and Memory have a fairly similar approach to how NRG2 play the game. They're both very mechanically adept players, so I think it'll be kind of similar.
I'm a little bit afraid here for them because Lefmir is a phenomenal Wands player. He's taken Wands victories. He was one of the 12 Titans. And as we've seen last week, those Wands players are really
create opportunities.
A threat to everybody across the field. So with Lefmir on the pitch, I feel like this is going to suit him down to the ground. Plus, he's going to have that fire under his belly. He has had a miserable RLCS season. He wants to put that behind him. This is an opportunity to do so.
Yeah, we've got to remember, it is a huge opportunity for all of these players. It's, you're not playing for chump change here. It's $100,000 on the line. And the best thing about playing twos, when there's prize money on the line, I only got to split it with one other player. So that's the one good thing, isn't it?
That's the real winner.
Everyone's
right
looking
there.
at threes and thinking, twos is the way forward. But, it is, again, a lot of money on the line for these guys. But first, of course, they've got to get through to the regionals. So that's going to be the first things for these guys to do. But, I mean, let's talk about Ghost a little bit more. And, you mentioned a slightly disappointing season for Lethemir here. But, I mean, why was it so disappointing? I mean, what was it that happened? And, maybe some of the people didn't catch RLCS. And, what can you put your finger on exactly what went wrong?
He tried to play ones and threes, and it didn't work. However, playing ones and twos has that slight bit better chance
some more chances,
of working out. But it has always been one of Lethemir's sort of weaker suits of his team play. But over here, going to have to worry about that just a little bit less as he looks to try and move himself on in the next round of this tournament. Of course, Memory, not a player to scoff at. And after Space Station went out last week, going to be looking to try and regain some stuff for his org.
I really think Memory is kind of a slightly underrated player. Another changeup, Shogun. Another slow one right at the net. Coleman can't quite get there. Pass over to Lethemir, missed the challenge, just pops it right up.
I think it's about as powerful as that one's going to be completely honest.
Lethemir also went to go hit Coleman. Not sure if it made a difference in how that played out, but either way, a lot of pressure early on. But like I was saying, I feel like Memory is kind of underrated for who he is, because in their first season of RLCS, remember when they were set to destroy, Memory had to play a ton of defense, and I don't think he's ever really got to showcase
the
how
entire
good.
team had to play a ton of defense.
But Memory especially, you got the Savior of the Year award. Had to make a ton of stops in front of the net. And I don't feel like he's ever really got a good chance to showcase how good he actually is at this game. So I think this is a pretty good chance for him to do that.
Certainly is. It's going to be a missed ball there from Lethemir, but immediately covered. Memory try and get that ball to be played as slow as possible, allow Lethemir time to get back. Coleman's shot, just two miss hits to really trouble the defense. Now Memory going by himself. Still got 17 boost, chooses not to use it to try and go for a side-on tackle. Probably the best idea there. The ball could have ricocheted back over into the blue side of the field. Now Memory seems to be the workhorse so far in this game. He is all over the pitch. Lethemir biding his time. He's going to try and find his opportunity.
Goodbye.
Lethemir can keep this going. Both of them going right over the top.
One-on-one.
And now has got that one-on-one. He's taken it away, but it's a very good challenge, and Coleman finds himself too far forward to really follow up properly. These flicks haven't been landed just yet. They've got to get that higher up if they really want to threaten. Lethemir can't quite win that challenge. Opportunity to set up down to the middle, but Memory is a step ahead and can follow up his own touch. Lethemir wants to go for the shot. Went for a lot there, but thankfully for him, two players on the side of first in. Going for the ball means that they cannot try and get the counter-attack, and eventually, wave after wave of offense leads to a goal.
Yeah, I think Coleman here kind of just trapped in a bad spot. Doesn't have a lot of boost to really work with. Not a good position to try and deal with these passes. It's a great setup for Memory off of the back wall. Coleman on an awkward rotation. He's just out of position to deal with that play, and it's capitalized on well by Lethemir and Memory.
Well, Memory can go the entire way around. Using that ceiling to his advantage. Doesn't even actually go all the way up. Zadop going to give away possession to Lethemir. Didn't want any of it. Wanted instead to see what Lethemir was going to do with the ball. Good play out. Lethemir, though, holding that mid-light. His touch, though, not all that great. Opening up some space, but Coleman is so far back. First in, have got to take the opportunities when they come, even how small they could potentially be. Memory versus the ball in a race. And Memory comes up second best.
And it's the importance of this opportunity. Zadop really not taking this one for granted. He knows he's got to get this ball down the pitch quickly, and if that ball is placed any further to the right, any further, that actually might get saved. So really well-placed ball, and more importantly, got it down the pitch fast.
This is what we saw in the last few games as well. But we're seeing one team hold that midfield incredibly well. This time around, it is Ghost Station. But there is risks in that. One time you get beat, clean leads that ball, you have got nobody backing net. It is a huge risk-reward strategy. Back down. Zadok. Gonna see if Memory will mistouch. Memory, well, he certainly does not do that. Puts it so awkwardly for Coleman.
Oh,
And that is gonna be the power shot. Lefemir. If there's one thing he knows how to do, it's spot any small opportunity he gets. And he just levers that one.
Yeah, and also Zadok really opening the net wide open. He was expecting Coleman to get that pass more forward or perhaps farther out to the side, and neither of those things happened. It was kind of just this weak tap, and that was quickly stolen away, and Zadok just found himself out of position.
Lefemir mistouches. This is one of the nice things right now for Ghost Station. First in are playing so far back that realistically any sort of mistouch from Ghost Station can be immediately rectified just by playing it back and resetting the position. Zadok does well there. Coleman actually challenges this time. It's been rare that he's gone for these, but he's done well out of that. And now it's First In's opportunity to try and squeeze a goal out from Ghost. But how long does it last? Not long enough. Lefemir finds a way past. Memory back over to the corner. He will go for the net. Zadok puts the ball straight into Coleman, who tries to follow up. 50 seconds remaining. 0 boost on the side of Coleman. And that touch does set it up for Memory. Memory finds the back of the net. Those 2v1s are such a nightmare to deal with.
Absolutely. It's just only has one option here. He needs to get this ball all the way across the pitch safely to that corner if he wants to not have to deal with a tough shot from Memory. And it's tough to do that when you don't have a lot of speed or a lot of momentum to get that ball all the way across. And
especially when you're facing towards your own net as well. You don't exactly have much angle to work that ball into a corner. Memory with the flick up. He's going to follow himself. Almost got another tap to turn that one in.
You know, the interesting thing about this game is it's not like the mechanical brilliance of Lefemir and Memory is beating them. It's purely the speed.
It's mostly positioning from what I can tell, which, you know, speed and positioning is very much the same thing.
Connected, but yeah.
But it just seems like there's a confidence to Ghost Station where they expect most things to go their way. And then even when it doesn't, because First In are so far behind and so much slower, Ghost Station can rectify any of those situations that go against them.
But it's mostly just the fact that they're not having to do anything crazy to beat these guys. It's just playing sound, fundamental Rocket League. It's like, I'm going to be in the right position, I'm going to beat you to the ball. And that's all they're doing.
Yeah, it's much like the previous match, slightly different to that in outlook. Obviously, that was more of a test. This one, Ghost seem to be just almost playing with their food a little bit at times. They just,
it feels a little bit that way, yeah.
Just playing, just doing pretty much what they want when they want.
I would definitely agree with you in terms of there is a very interesting comparison to be made by the team that is taking the front foot, where we have got them holding the midfield as well as they are. Difference is, though, is what the opposite side is doing. Last game, there was an awful lot of chasing down, trying to get to every single ball. This time around, it seems like Coleman and Zadok are very happy to stay on the back foot, and it's not working.
Yeah, Coleman 6 saves, 14 shots for Memory and Lefemir. That's pressure and a half.
So how did you change that up? I know you guys were talking about speed. It's very easy to say, you know, play quicker, but when you're playing against players like this, it's difficult to match their speed.
It is, but I feel like they're not really giving themselves the option.
Exactly.
It's one thing to say, okay, you know, be quicker. We would never say that to a team of just be quicker. We will say to you, give yourself the chance to be quicker. Because right now they are playing in a very negative way. They're expecting a lot of the things to go against them, so even when it goes well for them, you've already prepared yourself for the worst. So
they're not in position to take advantage of it.
Yeah,
exactly.
Especially when you're a couple of goals down. Why not just go for it at that point?
They could probably learn a little bit from the previous series and how Oxygen played. You know, they did try and take
pretty grounded.
Exactly, they tried to take the fight a little bit, but unfortunately, you know, didn't come out on top. But the game number 2 is about to start up now. I mean, Ghost have got to be feeling pretty confident going into this game number 2, right? I mean, that was, as we said, that was exactly how they would have expected game number 1 to go, and they executed pretty much everything they wanted to do in that game. So more of the same for them.
Absolutely. I think you know, they'll get better mechanically as this series goes along. And if they keep getting that space with people like Left and Memory being allowed to execute on their mechanics, that's dangerous. We could see potentially a very high-scoring game on the side of the blue team unless we can see a step up here from first in.
It's Sharif playing with Coleman.
Oh, okay. Well, suddenly that I mean, the naming factors do not help us out here. Let's be honest here. We've got Zayd up on our sheet. We've got Iz previously, and now Sharif reveals himself. It was him all along.
You know, the best part, Sharif is actually also a 1v1 player. He's,
I mean, he was the 12th Titan.
He was the 12th Titan, exactly. So he also very much knows what he's doing. How did I miss that?
Well, I think
because it's not on the sheet. That's how I missed it.
Yeah, it's very easy to miss stuff when we are
I think
simply
it was on
not
the
given
email.
the information.
I think it was on the email I was sent, but not on the sheet. And now it all makes sense.
I'm trying to give you an out here, Chiefs.
I
I'm trying to give you an
appreciate
out.
it, but I will hold myself accountable.
As Ghost just found a way out of defense incredibly quickly, Memory immediately able to take advantage.
Yep, Coleman just decides to make an aggressive chance at that ball and just beat to it. Also, doesn't help. Memory was on top of it, so even if he did make it, probably would have just went straight through him.
In fact, it is actually Sharif. It sort of throws me off even more because Sharif's gameplay style, especially in ones, is almost glued to the ball.
Yeah.
He is very close all the time. Just hasn't been able to settle down just yet.
Kind of an awkward clear there. Memory is just, he's not even expecting anything to happen there. He's just, oh, the ball's on my hood, and just quick cuts it inside, and they don't make it back. There's not much else to that one.
Well, for Ghost, this is the perfect start, even better than the last one. All the way back down, Memory gets the pass off to Leftmere, who can't connect to that ball.
Now, here's a question for you, Shogun.
Yes.
Since you spend so much time locked in a room in the U.S. when you're doing the RLCS, how many top NA players do you get to play against when you play?
How many? I barely get to play against any.
Okay.
Because I'm stuck in a hotel room.
Okay. Oh, that's right. You probably don't have the best internet.
Hotel Wi-Fi,
yeah,
not great.
Never mind. You don't have the sweet wired connection?
No, I do not have the sweet wired connection, unfortunately. Those are two very dull months of my life. Memory. Pushing to the corner once again. Just constant clears happening right now from Ghost Station.
Oh,
we almost saw ourselves a torment.
Man.
Memory will turn that one into the net, but first in, just looking so uncomfortable with the ball.
Man, that is just watching Memory do that play. He saw that ball roll around the corner, and he immediately went to the other side of the net. He's like, you've got one place to put this ball, and I'm going to be right there for it. That's a brilliant read of the play from Memory.
Coleman coming straight through. Might just be able to squeeze that one. Sharif so far just... Ball touches have always been very heavy from him.
Yeah, a little surprising.
Zero
Even
boost.
that one.
Tries to go for the backflip shot. At least keeps him in that midfield, where he can go and pick himself up some boost. Now back to the far corner. Coleman, plenty of time to try and work this one into a decent position. He decides to go long. Might be able to set up for Sharif, who's just going to try loitering around, but it is going to be Sharif versus Leftmere. Pass into the middle. Memory can just
brilliant.
smack it. 4-0. All down to the great transitional gameplay from Leftmere.
Yeah, really nice dribble from left. It's that quick land on the ground and that sharp cut out to the right side that really opens that play up. Sharif not in a bad position, just a little bit too close. Shogun, it's a little warm in here, baby.
Definitely a little bit warm. That goal did definitely not help matters. Sharif misses out on the ball. We go straight across the net once again, but Leftmere moves himself a little bit too early. Back across again, Sharif. Ball back with him. 6 boost to his name. Left himself with very few options to how to take the ball. Now Leftmere, he's got quite a bit. Ball just escaped, but there's another shot there coming in from Leftmere. Of Memory this time around. There's going to be another one.
Pressure.
How many shots did you say last game? 14?
Yeah, they had 14 shots last game. How many they
very
got?
well be much higher this time around.
They've got 8 right now. They got
right
2
now.
minutes to go.
Okay, so what we're saying is shot accuracy is way up.
Way up, yeah.
For Ghost Station.
It's been a pretty clean game number 2. It's kind of just like what Onset said would happen. the Word versus Oxygen Game 2 blowout potential, and it's definitely came to the forefront here, that's for sure. Oh, they get one back.
In. That is going to be at least a good feeling there for first in. Pretty much out of nowhere, though. Left me get himself too far forward.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of lack of respect. Might have even had a chance at that ball. He was pretty close to it. Just don't think he turned hard enough. I'm not sure how much of a difference made. But either way, well played by Sharif. Get himself and his team back on the board here. And a little bit of life.
Memory.
They do have a pulse, Shogun.
They do. They
Contrary
do
to what Game
pulse.
2 would have you say.
I would never say anything.
You've never uttered words.
No. I don't know how I do this job.
The biggest crutch of all for every commentator are words.
I could learn sign language.
That would be an amazing broadcast at the LAN, just Shogun in front of the crowds on a big projector signing what the casters
you
are
wouldn't
saying.
want to see that.
I think it would actually be one of the funniest things I'd ever seen.
But you don't teach me sign language beforehand.
You try, it becomes this weird interpretive dance.
How do you think the last 20 seconds of the RCS would have looked with me trying to do sign language? It would have just been
how do you
waving.
sign "This is Rocket League"? Just waving your arms emphatically.
Anyway, still on the scoreline. It is 5-1. With each second passing away, it looks like first in.
Oh, he's late.
More and more unlikely. Left mid can turn himself around, and he's managed to nail it. Well, we did say if the mechanical skills start to show up, this could be a bit of a romp. And the mechanical skill has started to show up, and this is a bit of a romp.
To a T. And really, it's been a lot of the positioning is not quite there. The speed of the ball is a little bit too slow. Memory and Lethemir, it's just that hyper-developed sense of how close you can be to a play and still be able to get to it from pretty much anywhere. And that's always what's really on display when you watch any of the top-level Rocket League talent play. It's just they know exactly what they can get away with and how far away they need to be to do it.
It's like a risk-reward strategy that they often go for, and they manage to always get it just right.
Just right.
How far forward can I be? Also, what another demo. The smoke screen, the grenade. Either way, it's 7-1.
Is Brazil still in the World Cup?
Yes, they are.
They still are? All right. Germany's not, though. So,
No, they're not.
so some vengeance there. Perhaps I should let that thing die off. It's been, what, almost 4 years now?
No.
Almost 4?
You really think that if you were to make a stand right here, right now, it would suddenly stop? Ranked has decided no. This will no longer happen because Achieved has made a stand today.
Did you guys watch the closed qualifier broadcast?
Everyone watched it, of course.
Never again.
Oh, I'm going to jump in. I think it's best for everyone if I jump in because, gentlemen, it was getting out of hand, much like that game did, to be honest with you. That was an example of a team flexing their muscles.
Do you want to see the Shogun interpretive dance? That's the real question.
No, you don't.
Genuinely, I
Interpretive dance? Where did this come from?
Yeah, well, since you don't actually know sign language.
It was one of those things. Yeah, it was one of those things where I kind of, in my mind's eye, created an image of what was happening.
Whatever
you just threw that at me,
right now.
interpretive dance, and just all sorts of stuff that could never be shown on a broadcast. It was just very, very strange.
Let's just say whatever's in your head right now is
very
better.
dark.
Yeah,
but more than likely. Okay, let's talk about the Rocket League. Let's talk about that because First in Flight, it was a difficult learning. We'll call it a learning process, that game. But it was the guys on Ghost, just as I say, showing what they can do. And Shogun, you highlighted it. Just a great example and a great match full of mechanical skill that they just did show how good they can be.
Yeah, they were pretty much just catching the ball every single time and doing whatever they wanted with it. Now, I should point out at this moment in time, Sharif is not as active right now as he used to be when it comes to this game. It must be said the same with Coleman. They're off doing other things at this point in time, and we can see now why people call it the grind when it comes to being a top-level Rocket League player, because this is what happens when you're away from the grind. I guarantee you, these two, when they are at full pelt, trying their hardest and constantly playing the game, this would be a much closer series. But at this point right now, not quite so much. Let's see if they can turn it around just a little bit. Sharif, the slowest player I've ever seen. He's actually going to turn.
Are they going to restart the match? That's Coleman. All right.
It was either that or this was the weirdest defensive display I've seen from Memory.
I mean, it's a brilliant little.
I like the idea.
Who did we see? We saw what was it? Prime Thunder? Was it Prime Thunder? Who did the? Yes, he did the fake into the turtle slide goal. And
surprise! Hi. We're back again. We got a little bit ahead of ourselves there, so that's not actually the matchup that's going to be potentially the final one of the day.
That's the broadcast fake right there.
We like to keep you guessing, and it definitely surprised you, didn't it, Shogun?
It did. It was just, hi!
No, I had you covered. I
had my jacket on that time, though.
He did, though.
You did.
It's okay.
The
Never
illusion,
again.
The smoke screen is still.
Because I know it's going to do
there.
your head in if you look at this later on.
Oh no, not the podcast.
No, that might be a bit too much. There we are. Because I know you're going to look at this VOD, and that will do your head in.
I don't know how you're wearing that. Just so everyone, like who you might not be currently in the UK, understands. Who's watching the broadcast? It is hotter than the sun in the UK at the moment.
It's like 2 million degrees Celsius.
It is very warm in here, and somehow Achieves is still wearing a jacket. I mean, I respect it.
It's because it's warmer in the US, so.
Wow.
You just made me look.
We can't complain.
Me look stupid, but never mind. That's very true.
This is what happens when us Brits complain, because we don't have extreme enough weather for anything, do we?
We just have everything.
Inconvenient.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's raining. It's 85. It's raining. It's 85.
I mean, there's some places out in the world that has it's raining and it's 85 at the same time.
It's a very, very good point, but it looks like we might be getting back into our game, so we'll get that to you as soon as we possibly can. It is potential for it to be the last game of the day, gentlemen, as well, which would be very sad, wouldn't it? Because I love these broadcasts. I love having you guys here. I'm being nice to you both now because we're about to end. See what I'm doing here? I'm being nice just before we come back for tomorrow. But
so
it is
not
going to be
awkward when we go out.
Exactly. But this is the actual game. This is the actual game, gentlemen. So potentially for the last time, as Lethamir puts one in the back of the net. Take it away.
Yeah, this is the perfect start. Straight from the challenge. I actually quite like that. If you are going to challenge the central kickoff, come in later. You see people out there that sort of are reaching that central circle already before the ball's even been touched. Put yourself about halfway. As you can see, Lethamir going for it once again. I like that a little bit more because if it goes against him, he's further back and he can start turning himself around.
Make an adjustment, yeah.
It's going to be Memory. Straight above. Early goal there from Ghost. I mean, I was going to say that maybe that time off was going to give first in just a tiny second or so to sort themselves out mentally and get themselves back into this series. But
man,
2 goals in the first 31 seconds is certainly going to do anything against that.
It's a pretty brutal touch there. Sharif, I'm not even sure what his plan was there. He was moving at a pretty brisk clip towards his own net, and even if he catches that one, it's going to be a bit more dangerous than he would probably like. I think he tried to just stop on a dime and get a hard cut and just skipped it right back.
The first touch from Sharif hasn't quite been incredible so far. Looking to try and flick, but once again, Sharif 0 boost. Often been 0 boost every single time he's trying to move forward. Has tried to pick up some from the corner, but it's come up way too late for him. Means that he's not going to be able to get a follow-up, but he in fact can. Double save from Sharif. And I know we couldn't see it on our screen in time, but I can guarantee you it was pretty close to 0 boost.
Yeah, big stop. And, oh, I thought it was free for a second. Didn't see Memory.
I thought Memory was backwards.
Yeah.
Lethamir plays it straight back over to his teammate.
Ooh, awkward position.
Coleman, smart enough to be able to follow up after his original save. Let's go straight down the middle. Sharif.
Ooh.
Got some decent ground made up here. A goal might be needed very soon just to keep this game nice and close. First in, playing to try and stay in the upper bracket. Remember, if they do lose this, it just means that they are going to be back here tomorrow. But if you win, you get your Wednesday off. You get to go and do whatever you want.
Which is obviously watch the broadcast and play more Rocket League to prepare for day 3.
It's a perfect day.
Ooh, big chance here.
Sharif, he had to hit the target.
Post.
Instead, he hit the crossbar. That crossbar has been a menace today.
Especially today.
I haven't seen it this bad ever since, I believe, the XL game.
Exactly. XL crossbar, unbeatable. There's actually a Twitter account related to that, fun fact.
Still the best defender.
Still is, undoubtedly.
Coleman smacks the ball long. Memory is so comfortable in the air at this point in time and going to be able to follow up. The next shot came in.
It's been a pretty good stint of offense here for Coleman and Sharif, though. I mean, Lethamir and Memory have definitely had to play on defense. Unfortunately, they just gave the ball up. That's going to change real quick here.
You see Lefmir starting to loiter just behind Memory.
So he knows
And
it's a big chance.
that is exactly why.
Because he knows.
As soon, you can see how quickly just the line got set up there from Ghost. Lefmir parked himself up behind Memory as soon as that first touch came in from Sharif. And they were easily able to capitalize. That is incredibly disciplined gameplay from Ghost Station, but they shouldn't have had that chance.
Exactly. And that was the unfortunate side effect of that poor first touch. It's they had a pretty decent stint of offense. They were starting to really get some ground and get dug in the midfield and box Lethemir and Memory at least to play a little bit of defense. But then that poor clear, and the worst part is how you and I both knew that immediately that game's going to turn on a dime once you make a mistake like that.
Now, I was actually surprised by the fact that it was Memory, despite him still going backwards. Like, he was aerialing behind himself to try and get out that ball. Also, Lefmir was right behind him, so...
Oh, man, what a shot.
Okay, he was definitely not going backwards for that one. That was top upper corner.
Rifle, 150.
I believe the word for this is a boomer.
Yeah, that's a boomer and a half, that's for sure. That's a quick one towards the right-hand side. And a well-placed ball again. Sharif not in a poor position. He was there to try and make a stop. It's just such a perfectly placed ball that there's no way to keep it out.
Memory all the way back. 4 goals to nothing right now. First in, playing to try and stay in the upper bracket, and right now it's starting to seem like maybe it's an impossible task. But they have won the challenge. Memory still the fastest player around. Like I say, I've been incredibly impressed with Memory this series. He is just found another level of pace.
He's a phenomenal player, and I really think
I feel like maybe his season of RLCS didn't quite do him justice, or maybe it made him better, because I'm still not aware of what level he was at the time. But what is important is the right now, and right now, Memory is incredibly impressive.
He just cruises around the pitch. He's got great movement, just like that. Oh my goodness!
Lefmir.
Break it down, Shogun.
Jealousy, I believe, is what we call this. Lefmir sick and tired of Memory getting all the plaudits. Takes it around everybody. And that's right down the middle of the goal line.
Man, that's such a sharp cut.
I mean, he is a ones player. We haven't seen much of it this series, but he is a ones player. Now Lefmir tries to go all the way down.
What?
Yeah, the flip
He
reset
tried
still.
to do that?
I mean, you're 5-0 up at this point. It's time for freestyle o'clock from the looks of it.
Still one of the greatest moments so far from last week. Freestyle o'clock.
The fact that it went so far against our expectations, but I think only Lefmir was expecting that to work out just as well as it did.
It's a clean catch here. Sharif gives him the space. That's the big mistake right there. He had a chance to go up and force Lethemir to make something happen, but he gave him the space to do whatever he wanted. And when you do that, it's free almost every time.
Do you know what is really scary about Lefmir's shooting?
What is?
The fact that he can loft it over players without putting it too high. There's usually one or the other. It's either too low or people just shoot way above the crossbar.
Too low and quick and easy to save. Or
yes.
Too high and...
just no need to save.
No need to save, yeah.
But Lefmir always seems to find that perfect balance between the two. So we head into the final few seconds. First in, they will be a little bit disappointed by this performance, but
2 goals.
They are going to be able to come out swinging tomorrow, because that is them done. And they picked up their third.
Make it 3.
2 seconds remaining. Maybe another one is on the cards. Maybe they can double their tally.
Maybe. But yeah, I think they'll come into tomorrow. I think what's the word I want to use here? Perhaps a little bit more sobered.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. But for Ghost Station,
this is put to the sword, and you hang your head a little bit, but you've got all night to let that one go and come back tomorrow and play solid Rocket League and make day 3.
This is actually another.
Oh, they got one. Oh,
kickoff goal. That
double
we
Brazil.
See.
Double Brazil.
You had to bring it up twice, didn't you?
I did. It happened again.
But for Ghost Station, that's another kickoff goal for them. That is something that is definitely going to have to be watched out for by other teams that are going to be playing against them, because they've nabbed a couple of those in that series.
I should start marking down.
There was like
which goals
a ridiculous amount of goals there.
goals.
You might struggle to keep up with.
Well, it's not hard. I just put like a little K in the margin or something.
Okay.
There we go. We know how you keep your notes. That's the important thing, and that's what we wanted to tell everyone at home. But I mean, you both were talking about it there. How impressive that Memory's been throughout this series, but that was pretty much the Lethemir show in that one.
I mean, well, both of them. They both did phenomenal. Both scored 6 shots. Memory got 5 saves. Lethemir had 5 goals. I mean, didn't matter what you needed. Someone on that team was able to do it. It's pressure out of the midfield, and then Lethmere able to turn a lot of those chances in, courtesy of the great challenging from Memory, and also vice versa. It's Sharif and Coleman threw kind of whatever they had in the tank at them, and they just took it and threw it right in their face.
Yeah, there was definitely, it seemed, I mean, yes, Ghost Station played incredibly well that series, but I feel like they were made to look better than they really were, because after game one, a very deflated first in seemed to take the field, and they never really were able to pick it back up, but they've got a day. They're going to be able to sit at home and just sort of go, okay, we need to get this sorted out, because I guarantee you those boys can play better than that.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that they can step up tomorrow.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? This is double elimination. They do get another shot. They fall into our lower bracket, but they will be back tomorrow. So speaking of brackets, let's give you a brisk bracket update and see exactly what is going on at the end of today's action. After that final game, you can see it all in front of you here. The four teams, who will be in that upper bracket going into day number 2 are Word and Hawk Cat E-Games, Flyquest and Ghost Station. You can also see that lower bracket there, the elimination bracket. First in Flight versus Blue Angels, Speedy Sloths taking on Revival, Phenomenal EXP take on In Bloom, and Oxygen take on Mercury Pencil. So some really big games coming up tomorrow, gentlemen. Obviously a lot of elimination games still, but we've got some strong teams left in this.
Yeah, and like we said earlier, really want to see that Oxygen and Mercurial Pencils one tomorrow. Oxygen really kind of threw us for a bit of a loop today with how well they played against Word. So should be a good matchup tomorrow.
Well, one thing that is always good, of course, is the fight against hunger, and that's what we're doing on this broadcast. Thanks to our fantastic partners, Soylent. And good news, gentlemen, we had 79 goals scored today, which is 790 meals, which will be going to the World Food Programme over in the USA. And of course, if you do want to get involved, head over to wfpusa.org/Shogun. This is your time to shine.
Universal Open.
Universal Open. There you go. That's where you got to head. Please get involved. It is a fantastic cause. And yes, 790 meals. Not bad for a couple of hours' work, gentlemen.
Yeah, we actually beat last week's day number 1, 74. So we'll have to beat day 2 tomorrow.
Maybe day 3. Maybe we can hit 100.
100 in day 3.
That's
That'd
the
be
big
nuts.
target around here. I want to see one day where we get 100.
And there's only one way to do that. No mercy. But
No
one thing
mercy.
that we also need to remind you guys of is a little thing that we do every single time, and that is the State Farm Assist of the Day. Gentlemen, who do you think it's going to be?
That's actually a good question. I don't know off the top of my head.
I'm thinking an infield pass that I'm remembering from the top of my head here between Torment and Fireburner. I'm thinking that one. That's going to be my throw of the dice.
That's possible. Let me look at this.
Oh, he's made notes on all of them.
No, I don't know. I'll bet you it's something from...
He's got an ST next to the one that he thinks is the best one.
No, I actually want something out of Mercury Pencils.
Okay.
Fair enough. Well, I don't know if we're going to see the assist of the day. It looks like we are indeed going to do that. Gentlemen, drum roll, please. The State Farm assist of the match.
Yes!
Comes from... it was from... I can't even read.
It's Mercury Pencils and Verbelli. Get
there you
destroyed.
go. You absolutely nailed it.
Especially, well, I get destroyed just like the defense did. It's a lovely backfire. It's very ungreedy as well. It's very easy in that situation just to go straight for the net. And then if it's blocked, that's the entire chance gone. But the fact that he goes for the backboard, sets up the teammate, it's a very safe play, but sometimes safe is the best thing you can go
Fundamental
for. Yes.
sound.
Fundamentally.
High percentage play.
Lots of terms of Anyway, that's going to do it. If you've got any terms you want to send our way, use that hashtag, of course. It's the same every single time. It's UOS. Oh my God, the first time
UOS2.
ever. UOS2. It's still above his head. It's still there. It's there all the time. But UOS2, of course, use that hashtag to let us know who you are looking forward to watching tomorrow, because, of course, we will be back here in the studio to bring you all more action. It's going to be a good day, isn't it? Look, you started it. All right, I just finished it. Best things comes in groups of 3s, and I was rounding that one out. But that's going to do it all for us today. Gentlemen, as always, it's been a pleasure. I finally broken the Chiefs. It's a good day for everyone. Come on, England, as well. Hopefully we win the game right now. But thank you all for joining us. We'll see you all tomorrow.
So you'll be here to help if I need you?
I got you.
What about here?
Yep.
Here?
Yes, Kyle.
And here's Sir Robert from State Farm.
If you invite me.
Go with the one that's here to help life go right. State Farm.